love it.
Detective. The ginger guy.
They're actually not a normal person. Morning, people. Good morning. It is Tuesday, the 20th of June. Welcome to TDA, the day after, your favorite news platform and the home of popular culture, as defined by the culture. Let's go ahead and get to know the people in the room. They're very sure looking at us.
Am I fixed? Why is there fluff on my hat, man?
You're such a diva. You actually move like Mariah.
I need to fix it.
Yep, you do.
Why did you think like that? You actually move like Mariah. Like you're such a character.
Mariah? Who's Mariah?
Mariah Carey. She's in residency. I saw a video one time, I think she was doing like a Vegas residency. From her hotel room to the stage. She doesn't walk. They have to the luggage trolley things.
Yeah.
She just sat there and they just wheeled her onto the stage.
You got to conserve
I
your
love
energy
it.
before the big performance there.
I absolutely love it. Like she doesn't strain or stress about anything. I know she's so angry at the foolishness Nick Cannon's got her in. It wasn't meant to be like this. She wanted exclusive kids. And now half of America is her kids' siblings.
Do you remember she had beef with M&M?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I forgot about that,
Don't remember the diss track?
Obsessed.
Yeah.
That was the tune. And she dressed like him and everything.
Wow.
That's cute. What was the beef about?
He chopped her in it and she tried to say he didn't or something.
Yeah.
No, I don't know if
Why
that's
are men
what
always
He
talking
said he
there?
did, isn't it?
in the verse.
Yeah, I think he said he did.
He said
And then
he
she
chopped it
said he
once.
didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do men always talk it though? Like, just close your mouth. I'm thinking that's my grave. No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
I can't remember where it started over though. I can't remember why it happened.
I can't remember.
Maybe he said
Well, she
something
did a
about
whole
the track or
track.
something.
He must have said something on the
must
track.
have.
Because
He
she
might
did
have
a
been
whole
like gashing
song.
on the track and then she just maybe came out to deny it and then I don't know because why would you beef Mariah Carey?
Don't know.
I can't remember.
Damn. All right.
Oh no, intro. I didn't introduce myself.
Yeah, go on.
It's me. Hi. Big boss from the east side of the bridge. Come on, you know what it is already.
And they call me E-Man, the pro-black
What's going on
activist.
here?
What happened?
Didn't know about ladies first.
I thought you went already.
No, of course I didn't.
Oh, my mistake.
Sorry, go
Mine's
on.
messed up.
No,
the
let them
whole
know
of
the pro-black. You're dying to let them know you're pro-black.
Where was I?
You are the pro-black activist.
Pro-black
You are the
activist.
pro-black activist.
That's right. TDA producer, news analyst, melanin jam-packed.
That is right. And as always, I'm your favourite shade and petty queen, my own royalty.
Petty queen.
Yeah, I've always denied that I was petty, but I think because I was convicted about being petty. But this morning on my drive, I said, nah, you're petty. So I'm just going to sit in it now.
What's the most recent petty thing you've done?
Do you know what it is? Yeah. So I can't think of anything I've done recently. But I tend to store my pettiness in the bank.
Okay.
But the issue is I forget. So
Okay.
if you do something to me, I'll be like, oh, it's fine. Like, because my mum, oh no, I can't say that now. Forgot myself. But like, yeah, that's my thing. Like, I'll be like, oh, it's fine. We're going to revisit this. But it's where I'm more of a petty where I make references to stuff.
Okay.
Like in my word on road today, the first one, it's a callback.
Okay.
That's when I knew I was petty. I said, let things go. I said, nah. I just carried on typing. I said, well, that's that.
Where?
So yeah, that's how my petty shows up. Like I don't like, key cars and stuff like that.
Okay.
That's a crime. I can't go to jail.
That's good.
Yeah.
I remember first time. Was it the first time?
Oh, someone killed your car.
No. It was something similar, but not to me. I went to America. My cousin's wedding, innit? One of his boys was obviously living a particular lifestyle.
One that you don't approve of.
Of course.
Yep.
And his girlfriend basically found out where he was, put sugar.
Someone's wedding.
No, it wasn't at the wedding.
Oh.
So it happened before the wedding.
Okay.
I think she was even invited to the wedding.
Oh, stop it.
Yeah. Anyway, she put like a bag of sugar or something in his petrol, in his fuel tank.
Do you know those are my favorite type of activities? You know the ones that you would never think of? Like I rate people that think of that. I'm like, how did you think of that? Like obviously some of them are crimes. Well, a lot of them are crimes.
Yep.
But you know, I feel like the best revenge is to make someone's life inconvenient. all that slapping stuff and fighting, that's for the birds. Make their life inconvenient.
And you say that's one of your favourite pastimes?
When I see other people do it. It's not what I don't do it. I don't do that.
That's good.
I just don't have it in me. Like I don't care about anything enough because I have this thing about not giving people power. So I can't give you such power. Oh, sorry, I forgot. The pettiest thing I did yesterday, on my way here, I just remembered. When I tried to overtake someone and I nearly got in an accident. And in the car, so basically like, okay, this is dangerous, but don't do this at home, kids. So basically, yeah, we're driving, but you know when people just slow down to like a 5 miles per hour over a speed bump? Why don't you get out of the car and carry the car over since you're so pressed about the speed bump? This guy was, and I feel like he was doing it on purpose because it's just ridiculous. And I was just like, I can't do this anymore. So I wanted to overtake him, but because he thought I was going to overtake him, now all of a sudden, he knows where his accelerator is. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to back down. I'm not a bitch. So I kept going. But the issue is then now we're a bend and there's a car coming. But thankfully, like I maneuvered it enough where the car didn't hit me anything. I was like, oh, that was close. And the car beat. I was like, beat me? That beat back, even though I wasn't wrong. I said, don't beat me. I beat back. But yeah, that was the pettiest thing I did. But then I did think yesterday, I said, nah, this is the last time this can ever happen, Esther. So I'm in a great mood today.
So what did you do? Overtake him on the bend? Did you get in front of him?
Yeah, I did. Of course I did.
Oh, so you made it?
Miles ahead. Of course I did.
Okay, that's good.
I wasn't going to back down. I would have come here one tire if I had to prove a damn point. Yes, I basically overtook him on a bend, which is very dangerous. I wouldn't usually, but I didn't realize how close the bend was because he had to speed up. Silly man. But then when I did that, I said, you can't live like this anymore. Like, this is it. But the thing is, it's crazy because I don't know when he's going to show up. Because I'll be calm. Like, calm, I was listening to a sermon. And I was like, yes, amen. This is hitting the soul. Next thing I know, I'm cussing and swearing. It's ridiculous.
That's when the devil likes to attack, man.
Yeah. And I said, no, this is the last time he has his way with me. This is ridiculous. It was so dangerous. It was so dangerous. Could not believe it.
Man.
But yeah, man. All right, let's see what our question of the day is, what Bard has for us today. I see Bard is out here responding to Instagram comments as well. There's a clip about the hoe phase. And then someone said, what's a hoe phase? And then Bard gave them a very textbook dictionary response. I said, no Bard working for TDA. All right, so if you could travel back in time, what event would you like to witness? Ooh. What event?
Oh my goodness.
You're going to have to mic yourself up. You're going to... This is the energy you're on this morning.
I want to see where Marcus takes this as well. Because... I think, in fact, let me let you start.
He said, you dig the hole, then we'll see if he's going to add sand to it or dig deeper.
What were we asking?
If you could go back in time, what event would you want to attend? Would you like to witness? So you don't, I guess you're not a participant. You could be, it's up to you.
I don't know, man. Like, I can't think, man. 95 sauce wars or something like that. Is that the one?
Hey, that's a sick pivotal time. Man. Yeah.
That went off, but that was the start of East Coast, West Coast.
Coast.
Yeah. I understand.
I can't think. Where they killed the dinosaurs.
Who's they?
I was about to say, you think the dinosaurs were killed? Or they went extinct?
Same thing, innit?
Nah. Killing is intentional. They just died out.
That's true.
Why would they have died out? Why did they die out? Was there an explanation for this?
They said there was a comet.
What, like from the sky?
Yeah.
And it killed them?
Hit Earth, yeah, and just messed up everything.
Extinction level event. There's one coming soon.
One of the theories, anyway.
There's a comet coming soon. It's not a comet, it's Jesus. Don't let them trick you. You better get right.
But they say they can see it though.
You can see what?
The comet.
It's the wings, man. It's the angel's wings. You can see the comet.
Why does it take them so long?
Because we don't know the time of day. Do you know, I have a feeling like the day that Jesus comes here is going to be a day when no one's thinking about Jesus. It has to be. Otherwise, then we know. Well, not we know, but we are aware. Do you get what I mean? That's what I would do. But that's me in my petty state. Yeah, you're not meant to see it coming. Like a thief in the night. Like a damn thief in the night. So maybe all of you are focusing on the comments talking about, oh, it's going to be here in 72 days. On the 7-second day, you don't forget you're meant to be watching out for the comet. Bang. Here's Jesus.
Wow.
I can see it.
Sounds about right.
What would you go back and watch?
I don't know. I actually don't know.
First thing that came to mind was when man got consciousness.
Or when when Adam ate the tree, ate the apple.
I mean, if that's what you believe is consciousness.
Where's your consciousness? When did humans get consciousness for you?
Remember, we're all animals, isn't it? So
with the we. We's French. You're an animal. Say good nothing to me.
No, just that point where I guess man became aware of their surroundings and started thinking like how we think.
From when, so you know, like they've got the little stages.
Yeah.
And we're on the floor. Well, y'all were on the floor, then you were hunchback. So you want to be between the hunchback state and the straight state.
Exactly. Yeah.
But that happened.
Exactly.
So you're telling me out of nowhere, monkeys who just start speaking English. Is that the?
Yeah. What day do you want to go there? Because didn't this happen over time?
It did, but that pivotal time, you know, like in Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
Where is his name Caesar?
Big up Caesar.
When like he just started, he just uttered a word, and everyone kind of was like, "What the hell? This guy can speak."
Okay. Yeah.
Like it must have happened to one person, or maybe would it be a group? It may have just happened to one person at first, innit? But that point where man just got consciousness and thought, you know what, there's more to life, if that makes sense.
Do you know what it is there? If it is that was the case, I don't believe it is. But if it was, I feel like it would happen over time. It's kind of like when you say, callback. But when you say you're losing weight, you can't see it. It's happening gradually and the change is there. But one day you're just like, oh, wait a minute. Like, this is how I look today.
That's the day.
So I feel like, so that's the day you want to see.
Yeah.
Not how it came to be. Because I don't want proof that this actually happened.
You want proof that it actually happened?
Yeah, because I don't want to see people on the first human. It's already happened. So what happened? How did you get here? I want to see the actual transitional stage where the guy was like that, then slowly rose up.
But then you got to be watching for a long time.
Yeah, this is the event I want to... Well, if I was you, this would be what I want to see. Because then otherwise, then it's like living in this world today. Yeah, you just see humans.
But if, for example, like using your analogy, I saw that person who had lost weight, right?
Yeah.
And they were amongst other people that was kind of overweight like them.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily need to see the transition. I already know they transitioned because they were like everybody else. Okay. So the most important part to me is that, okay, you was like this, and now you looked around, saw everybody overweight kind of, and was like, this is what, you're able to articulate how you even got to this stage.
Oh, so everyone didn't turn, people didn't turn into humans at the same time?
No, they all, yeah, exactly, yeah.
Oh, so we've been in different stages?
Kind of, yeah.
So you could have been a human and your wife is still a monkey?
Basically, yeah.
Oh, you're sleeping with monkeys.
But it would
crazy.
But it would have happened, like, the increments would have been so small, though.
That's fair. That'd be lit, though.
You just called Emmanuel's wife a monkey?
Don't be silly. Don't you dare do that to me.
Is that what you said?
Of course I didn't.
Oh,
I don't even know where this even
Why would you do that?
Sorry, I just
don't mind
you were sleeping with
I told you I'm filled with joy this morning. Why would you do that to me? Of course I didn't.
But no, animals anyway.
There.
Emmanuel.
Because imagine like being the head of the household, and you're the first one to like transition, and then you get to see your wife and your kids like, make that change from monkeys or the monkeys, right? Or Homo sapiens. What was the saying?
Homo sapiens.
That's it. To what are they now?
Homo sapiens. Sapien.
Oh, okay.
Two sapiens.
Homo sapiens.
Sapien.
Sapien.
Yeah.
So now you're Homo sapien.
Sapien.
What were you before?
Two sapiens. We're Homo sapiens. Sapien.
Oh, come on, bullshit. What? This is some nonsense.
Sapio.
You're so annoying. Okay, fair enough.
But I guess that would be the equivalent if you want to like make it more religious, right? That would be the equivalent of when Adam and Eve like rose up.
They didn't rise up. God created them.
I was gonna say,
Yeah, but I mean, as in
Rise up
rose,
from where?
rose up, as in out of the sleep. So like when Eve,
No,
you know,
but
when
Eve, though,
Adam,
wouldn't it? Though? Oh, yeah, I suppose. Yeah, he slept too.
exactly, yeah. So when they got up and recognized, wait a minute, I'm here, type thing.
Yeah, but he's a phony though, because he was already there. So what's he acting confused about?
That's true. But then he's seen someone that looks like him, kind of, isn't it?
He's in a girl.
And she wasn't there before.
I wonder if she had a body. I wonder what Eve looked like.
Well, she was black, so.
A black woman would have known not to eat the apple. I don't think so. But fair enough. Yeah, I can't think of what event. Brent, what event would you want to go back to? I know you know.
A few of the biblical
Here we
events,
go.
right? So, first one, probably walking in water.
You've said this before, you know. This
Yeah.
is very heavy in your heart. I pray in the next world you get to walk
Feeding
on
up to
water.
5,000. I want to see if it was a sleight of hand. It's so puzzling. Also, Pompeii. No, and Tower of Babel. When everybody
That would be
started
so
speaking different
awkward.
languages.
That must have been
I want
such
to
a
see
sight
how
to
far they
see.
got. Might have just been like 3 feet. Not 3 feet, 3 stories.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they think that's tall.
Yeah. But then
You'd be
they got
disappointed.
scattered. Why?
Do you think them stories are like fables and that?
Is that why you kiss your teeth?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Yeah.
What did you say? Armageddon. What did you say?
I just said no. What did I say?
Oh, you said you wanted to go to Sauce Awards.
Oh, it's way better than your one.
Yeah.
So it's way better than bread and fish.
Come on, simple.
So do you fully believe that none of these stories were real? Legit?
Over time, no. I know how Chinese whispers work as well. So maybe
Chinese whispers with the Bible.
Yeah, maybe something happened. There was
So the
something.
Bible is a collection of Chinese whispers.
Yeah, it's a collection of fables and stories for you to live. For you
Can
to
you
have-
at
to
least
live your life.
put your thing to the mic, please? Thank you.
Yeah, it's a collection of fables and stories to guide you through life. I don't think you should take everything that's in there like, as literal. It would be nice if there was, but I just think maybe things happened and they got expanded, and over time, and when they got written down into the form that they're in, that's the perfect form for them to help guide you through. But I don't think they're going to be exactly. I don't think if you went back, you'd see exactly what the story said. I think
How
you'd be
about
disappointed.
the historical landmarks and the geographical locations?
What do you mean?
Do you think they also
Would
fake?
they'll be there?
No, the ones that were depicted in the Bible and they're still depicted now. Do you think that was just coincidence?
What if they was in the Bible and they're still here now?
Yeah, like the Nile.
No,
What do you say no to?
I don't. What did you ask me about the now?
What about them?
What about it? The
For
now,
them
That is the fables.
the now will be there. Yeah. Do you think you'll
I'm
go?
finished.
Do you think you'll go there at the point and see him
Never
split
mind.
it?
Never mind.
Is that what you think?
Never mind.
Oh, same thing.
Moses was on it now.
I don't.
Yeah, I don't think you see a baby floating on it now.
Yeah,
but
no, you're not gonna see the baby floating down the now.
Do you believe the baby floated?
Babies don't float, man.
It was in a
It was
basket.
in something, though, innit?
It wasn't. Yeah, it was not a basket, but it was in a. It had a little vehicle of its own. A boat.
Vehicle.
What did he do? He got caught in the shrubs, and then they found him. What happened again?
They didn't get caught in the shrubs.
He went down the river
He went.
That
Yeah,
wasn't a maid. Yeah, he
His
was
sister
in
was
the
following
shrubs,
it.
and then the maid kind of found it.
Yeah.
in the shrubs,
Yeah.
innit?
Yeah.
Yeah. The maid found him. Yeah.
yeah.
That could be real. That happened probably.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that one happened.
that one happened.
So are you
hasn't it?
guys asking to go back in history? Oh, morning everyone. Sorry.
Yes.
Are you guys asking to
Sorry.
go back in to go back in time to be a witness or to be a part of history, like a part of that time?
No, so
What-
if you could travel back in
Just to
time, what
witness it.
event would you like to witness?
Yeah.
Oh, to witness. Okay. Because I was gonna say I wouldn't go back to the Bible times
No, where
Really?
you
Why
going?
not?
Why?
because God was striking people dead, and I would have
You
been one of them.
listen.
I would have been one of them.
Sometimes when I read the Bible, I'm like, damn, like
Listen, I'm not trying to take
the
no
only,
risks.
like, the only question.
I would have been one of them.
That's the only
Wait,
question.
Leviticus is like I don't read it. Like, Leviticus, I don't read that because they think wrong strike down. They do this from strike down. I said, ooh, honey,
It's
tight.
it's militant back then, isn't
it
it?
was very militant.
Listen, unless it was a time after Jesus, that's cool.
I don't know what part of like Jesus is, which I'd want to go back for. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot that happened.
There's a lot that happened. There's a lot of like parables, a lot of like miracles. Like, which one would I have wanted to witness?
I think the garden, you know,
I-
praying.
No, that would have been sad though.
Yeah, exactly. But I would have been. I think I would have appreciated the weight that you know Christ would have had to carry a bit more.
No, but then the disciples fell asleep. This man
Yeah,
was basically
I-
crying blood and they were sleeping.
Yeah.
I tell you, you can witness it. To be fair, you can actually see it. That would have been terrible. That would have been so like gut wrenching. That would have been.
Do you know? I feel like the times of Moses was quite.
Really?
Getting the commandments.
Yeah, I feel like that was.
Then he came down and broke him anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's on him.
So I feel like that would, for me, I feel like that would be a frustrating time. Because he was doing so much, yeah. And these people, he would just go away to pray for one day, come back, they've made a new graven image. He would do this and they'd be like, well, you should have left us in Egypt. We had proper food there.
Haters.
Gosh, that
So,
was a lot.
so ungrateful.
I actually don't know what I would have wanted to see. It's really a lot. It would have been a good time.
I think I like Joseph's story.
Yeah.
I like Joseph's story.
Joseph's one was cool. Even like David and Goliath as well. That would
I would have went with a lot on them, man. There.
You would look back. You would have looked back.
You would have looked
No,
back.
I don't know if I would have looked back.
Assault.
No, I would have before all of that. Why they were turning up just to see what the city was saying. You get me? Not
Well, you
right.
would have been Sodom and Gomorrah.
That was a time where God was destroying lands.
There's debates that, you know, it does exist today. You can still...
Oh, yeah, you would have been part of Sodom and Gomorrah, I think.
There's different versions.
That's exactly what I
It's
heard.
not too late.
You wanted to be in that community where they were doing them things to the angels. Why?
Yeah, they were trying
What,
to...
them cities, but they was turning up in the cities. They was having,
Yeah.
they was having
Yeah,
fun.
listen.
Yeah.
That's what I'm good at to say. Listen, you guys are doing too much.
Listen.
And so they were turning up in the cities, yeah?
Do you know what I learned the other day actually though? That you know how like people always say it's wild that Lot offered his daughters. Apparently it's because the men only slept with men anyway. So they were never going to take his daughters. They're laughing.
That theory is
I was
cold.
like, that makes sense.
I don't believe that though.
That's a cold theory. That can't be true. They would have
Why can't
definitely
it be
been.
true? It could be true.
They would have been like at least bisexual in there, innit?
No, because they said we don't want the daughters. They said we don't want your virgin daughters. Bring out the men. And you're telling me that's not true. We're dying for it. It's like it was Sodom and Gomorrah. We're dying for all sorts over there.
Listen, dying, literally, boy.
Listen, it's just dead ass.
Literally.
But yeah, man. All right. Well, everyone travelled to a nice place. Let's get into our first headlines.
All right. First headline. It's not looking good for Boris Johnson, man. Yeah, man. Boris Johnson has been stripped of special access to Parliament after MPs endorsed the Privileges Committee's report that he lied about parties in Downing Street during the COVID pandemic. MPs voted by 354 to 7 to back the report's findings. A total of 118 Conservatives voted for the report, while 225 abstained. A debate was held in the Commons on Monday afternoon asking MPs to consider the report, which found the former Prime Minister knowingly misled Parliament multiple times with his statements about gatherings in number 10 during lockdown. It's what Brent wants us to never forget. And earlier in the day, there had been uncertainty over whether there would be a vote on the report. But after shouts of no were heard in the chamber, a division was held and a formal vote took place. In its damning report, the committee recommended that Mr. Johnson should have served a 90-day suspension from the Commons had he not resigned as an MP just days earlier. It also said he should have his right to access Parliament as a former MP revoked, a sanction that attracted strong criticism from his supporters. Next headline, David Cameron, back in the news as well, man, after many, many years. And basically, he's come out and said it was a mistake not to consider different types of diseases when preparing for future pandemics. Giving evidence to the COVID inquiry, Mr. Cameron said groupthink meant his government did not focus enough on pandemics other than the flu. He also denied that his government's austerity policies damaged the UK's ability to cope with COVID. The inquiry is currently considering preparedness ahead of the pandemic. George Osborne and Jeremy Hunt, the Chancellor and the Health Secretary under Mr. Cameron, will give evidence to the inquiry later this week. Questioned by the inquiry's lawyer, Kate Blackwell, KC, Mr. Cameron said much more time was spent on pandemic flu and the dangers of pandemic flu rather than on potential pandemics of other more respiratory diseases like COVID turned out to be. This is so important. So many consequences followed from that. And last headline, Suella Braverman, again back in the news, and she's encouraging the very thing that she was kind of criticised for this week. And she's encouraged police chiefs to use stop and search powers more often to seize dangerous weapons and prevent more knife crime attacks. The Home Secretary's letter to 43 chief constables does not have any direct impact on how officers act, as the police are operationally independent of government. But the latest intervention shows the Home Office wants to see an increase in officers using the controversial powers. There's been criticism of the practice of stop and search, especially over the proportion of black men and women, with one research paper describing it as a rites of passage for black boys. Government statistics suggest black people are 7 times more likely to be stopped and searched compared with white people. And campaign groups have previously warned that relaxing restrictions on police use of the power could compound discrimination. And that's it for deadlines.
All right, let's get into topic of the day.
All right. So today's topic of the day, this is definitely not a lighthearted one. I do try and put some lighthearted ones in there every now and again, but today's not one of those days.
Never tried.
And this is based on a headline that we spoke about last week. Well, we reported on last week. And it's about the mother of 3 who was jailed for more than 2 years. I'm not sure if you guys heard, for inducing an abortion after the legal limit. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, I didn't read up on it, but I heard
Okay.
about it, yeah.
I'm going to give you a brief thing here of what happened. Basically, her name's Carla Foster. She was 44, and she received the medication following a remote consultation where she was not honest about how far along she was in her pregnancy. The pills by pulse scheme, which was introduced during lockdown, it allows for pregnancies up to 10 weeks to be terminated at home, right? But she, apparently, this is what the court heard anyway, which obviously was true, it turned out to be true, heard that the woman was actually between 32 and 34 weeks pregnant, right? Bear in mind also, abortion is legal up to 24 weeks. After that, it's criminalized pretty much. So, however, after 10 weeks, the procedure is carried out in a clinic. So up to 10 weeks, you could do by yourself at home, based on this new thing that came out during lockdown. From 10 weeks to 24 weeks, you have to go to a clinic. And after that, it's just not possible. She was 32 to 34 weeks, right? So, like I mentioned, because of this, it went to court. Everyone said it was wrong. Well, the judge ruled that it was wrong and all that. And she was given 28 months. Question is, do you think that was harsh? And given the circumstances, which I'm going to go into more detail later on, do you feel like late abortions should be decriminalised?
What was her reason for taking it so late?
Okay, I was going to go into it a bit later, but basically, it's kind of turned out that she didn't know who the father was. So I think she got back with her ex, right? Mm-hmm. And she wasn't sure if it was the ex's or it was somebody else's. Mm-hmm. Also, she's 44, and I'm not too sure she wanted to have the kid anyway. So her thing was, I don't want the kid. How do I kind of get rid of it?
I'm shy for her. I'm extremely shy. I'm very timid for her. I thought it was going to be something like abuse or something. I feel like it should be decriminalised if it's a case of like abuse and something like that.
Okay.
You just wanting to get back with your ex-boyfriend and wanting to live happy families, that's wild. She could have given the baby up for adoption.
The excuse to me isn't really, I don't think it's justified. I don't think it's justified. And it's not like, I don't know, I feel like when you've had 3 children, you know when you're, like, there's certain signs you'll know to recognise when you're pregnant.
Very well.
It's not like she just found out at that time and was like, oh my gosh, I'm not ready, I don't want a baby. But I just don't feel like it's justified.
It's a very, very selfish, which obviously people should live selfishly, but it's a very, like, it's so clearly selfish because maybe she got back with her ex after
there was an overlap or something.
So it's like, oh, it's too late to get it now, and then this might affect us being together, blah blah. Also, did she not know her age when she was opening and having sex unprotected?
Yeah, I think she should have given it up for abortion. Like, you're already pregnant. Like, you got another month or so to go. Literally. You might as well have just had the baby and then given it up for adoption if you didn't know. But
because had that baby
it's
survived,
easier said than done. But
this is it, of course. But had that baby survived, because it doesn't always, I don't know situations, but say it didn't take or whatever, the baby would have been like severely disabled or something. Would it affect the baby in some kind of way? Now the baby's got to live a miserable life because you wanted to get back with your ex. Bro. Yeah.
Okay, let's take out the reasoning, right? Because people who are kind of campaigning for this law to be changed don't really care about the reasoning behind it. They just are saying, if a woman's in a situation where she needs an abortion, her life should trump the life of this so-called baby, right? If you even consider it a baby, right?
It is a baby at that point.
But for those who, even if it is a baby, whose life should take like precedence?
Are we talking?
I think the mums should always.
Are you asking me as just a woman, or are you asking me as that? I can give you two different answers.
Give me both.
Okay, as a Christian, both lives. There's not one that's more important than the other. But as a woman, I think actually I might give you the same answer. But that's just because my views on abortion are different.
Okay.
That's why.
Yeah.
So if somebody else could give a really good reason as to why I'd listen to it. But my views on abortion are different. So I would say that none takes precedent.
Okay.
I think there's some cases where, like, I've heard where people have to have an abortion because it is a threat to like, the woman's life.
Yeah.
So when I say the woman's life is more important, these are things I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
Because, excuse me, I'm not dying.
Yeah.
I'm not doing this. When I can have another baby, I can try again. Do you know what I mean? But I just think past a certain time, like, it's just...
Yeah.
I can't help but feel like you're not into, like, this is killing. It's just different. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I feel like if someone told me, like, they had an abortion, like, 1 week.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. But if someone told me they had an abortion, like, 32 weeks, that's a full-grown
It's really
baby.
hard to give an answer with no reasoning. Like, it's not a black and white thing.
Yeah, I feel
as
like-
you said, in terms of like medical purposes and stuff like that, it's different. I would say, do you know what? Save the woman. And my husband would always, regardless, my husband will pick me every single day. He'll be like,
It's a good husband.
yeah, he'll be like, not kill the child, but he'll be like, save my wife. Save my wife every single time.
Yeah.
So
It is tricky. I feel like abortion conversations are so tricky because, like you said, that you believe what you believe, and there might not necessarily be like reasoning behind it, or you just want to let people into that reasoning. I do feel like people should do whatever it is that they want to do. Like, each to their own, do whatever it is you want to do. We're all convicted differently. We all experience things differently. So I don't believe in dictating how people should use their bodies or what their bodies should do. And I don't believe in that because it's just each to their own. Do you get what I mean? Like, because like you said earlier, the people who want to decriminalize or the people who want to criminalize, it's never a do this, but in certain circumstances. Always like I feel like with abortion topic, it's like you have to be, you're either like for or against kind of thing. So I'm never gonna say totally because I can understand why some people want to do it.
Can I quickly add
That
in
makes
though?
sense.
I should have mentioned, you are allowed to get an abortion from 24 to the end if there is something wrong with the baby, for example, you want to get it terminated. So
Okay.
it's not that situation. Like,
So this is just people. This is the
the late after.
It's just for
This is the
leisure
after the
purposes.
period of time where you
Okay.
are legally allowed to get an
So
abortion.
after 10 weeks.
After the certain weeks.
up to 24
After
weeks.
24 weeks, yeah.
After 10 weeks, you can do by yourself.
How long is the pregnancy?
It's
40.
up to, it can be up to 42.
That's halfway.
Yeah. That's you have to go to a clinic to do that from 10 weeks to 24. But after 24, you just can't do it unless there's something like you're saying, like the child is severely disabled or some other type of.
So where you said
complication.
that you don't want to dictate what people do, so would
Yeah.
you remove the law then? Because the law kind of dictates what
Exactly,
people can do.
that's what we're gonna get
Would
to.
you remove the
Yeah.
law?
I would remove the law.
You would?
I would. Because I think also having the law there means that a lot of people do it in very dangerous ways and end up like dying and stuff like that. I think when you criminalize something, the ways people go around it tends to be worse than if it wasn't criminalized. So I would personally remove the law.
And is
What
it just the law for abortion you'd remove? Because you said you don't want to dictate what people do.
What
Is
other
it
laws?
just the law for abortion that you'd remove?
What other laws are there?
I'm just talking about law in general.
No, I'm
Because
talking about, girl, we on abortion
just
today.
abortion. Okay, cool.
I'm doing another talking another day. No, I'm just talking about abortion.
Okay.
In that, because for me, like, if I say people shouldn't get abortions, I can understand why someone who was sexually assaulted wants to get that.
Yeah.
Like, I can understand. Do you know what I mean? So this is why I can't say I'm against it.
Yeah.
Because there's different scenarios and different circumstances. And unfortunately, if you're for something, it was not going to cater to the other side of things that, do you mean the other side of things that you think about? And do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what makes it tricky for me.
For me, do you know what? I'm so in the middle with this abortion thing because I am pro-choice.
Yeah.
But I'm also pro-choice responsibly. There's always a clause to it for me. If it's just a thing where you're just being reckless and you're just having sex and you keep getting pregnant, you keep getting abortions, that's the thing. But if it's a thing where you said, you were abused or something like that, I do think you should always have the choice.
And I think for me, I will be honest and I will say I defo side-eye if you use abortion like contraception. I 100% side-eye. If you're in and out of that clinic every other month because you're just an irresponsible individual, I am passing judgment. But yeah, do you get me? So it's tricky because there's so many layers and variables to consider.
I'm going to come back to that point for what both of you just said, yeah. But Marks, yeah, on the surface, yeah.
Nope. Marks is like, nope. My name is, what's your name? Hershey. And he ain't in it.
Yeah. You pro-choice or pro-life, that's your business. I'm not involved in women's business. I agree with whatever Esther and Maxi say today.
Period.
But do you actually think that's women's business? That's just women's business, though.
She's not business.
I don't think it just. I don't think it is. That might be because I'm married. I might have that mentality, but I don't think it's just women's business.
No,
to be fair, because if I was
men pipe up, she's just business. So
I don't.
You can take it.
I actually think it's quite unfair to leave the father of your child. As I said, when it comes to abuse, and that is very different. But I do think it's quite unfair to leave them out of that decision. Yeah, I do.
But then what if though it's a thing where he doesn't want the child?
That he doesn't want the child.
He doesn't want the child. That's what's tricky now, isn't it? So you don't want to go for an abortion. You don't believe in abortions, for example. But he's like, I don't want the child.
But either way, you're going to be in that situation. Like, so just like, for example, let's say he doesn't want the child, and let's just say he's not there. Regardless, you're pregnant.
Yeah.
So either way, you're gonna. For me, it's just the not consulting him and like women saying, "I don't have to consult you. It's my body." That's what I don't think is fair. I do understand it is our bodies, etc.
Yeah.
But where you have consensually had sex with this person, you've gotten pregnant, and now you want to get rid of it.
Yeah.
I do think that you have to. Yeah, you do have to consult them.
I agree with that. I think it is. I agree with that because I think there's people obviously that have, like would get an abortion. And the person didn't even know that he could have been a dad. And I'm just like, oh, that's wild, but fair enough in it. But I think what's tricky though is that with some men, the conversation I've seen around it is if you're consulting them, don't consult me if you're not going to take on my.
Yeah, but that's the difference.
My opinion, do you get what I mean?
So no, it's not that. It's not that you're at the end of the day, consult the guy, but the guy has to also. Let's be honest. It comes down to me ultimately, but the fact that I'm considering what you said is it gives you that respect that, okay, do you know what? I am thinking about making this decision. What is your opinion about it? But ultimately it does come down to me, but that doesn't mean you should leave the guy out of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brent.
You
say Brent?
Yeah.
You know where that man.
Ben, what's your thoughts?
I think that was murder.
Okay.
If she was carrying it for so long, she had planned to have the child. So just wait a few months, have the child, and then give it away. When you feel it kicking and stuff, it's a bit different, no?
Yeah.
It's mad, man.
Yeah.
But that's just my opinion.
But this is it. I feel like, and that's what it is, because some people actually don't see it as until the baby comes out the vagina, they don't. It's not a baby to them. It's just cells.
Yeah.
But for me, it's just because remember when you reported the headline, I was like, no, that's murder. Yikes, man.
Yeah.
All right. It seems that obviously you guys are on the side of. I'm going to get back to the other thing I mentioned that you guys said.
Sorry. There are situations, right, where if I am told I'm a woman, I identify as a woman now. If I'm told that my child is going to be completely brain dead or whatever, and it's the same amount of months. Huh?
You're so Nigerian. You said it here. Hypothetically, that God forbid.
Oh, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Then I wouldn't see it as murder.
Okay.
Yeah, I would see it like euthanasia or something like that.
Yeah, but that's a medical reason though. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like if they told you, like, do you know what? If your wife goes ahead with this pregnancy, she might die. I don't have nothing.
Now I'm talking about the life of the child is going to be completely diminished. I wouldn't want that for the child.
Okay. I think you're even allowed to, I think, from 24 up to the thingy. Yeah. Okay, cool.
It's a tricky one as well, you know.
You guys are pretty much on the side of this being, as in it should remain criminalized, pretty much, right?
What should remain criminalised?
As an abortion
her
past the
actions,
time.
pretty much.
Past a certain time.
Yeah, past a certain time, of course.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try and present the other side, right? So what do you think of this? Abortion is healthcare. What do you think of that phrase, that sentence? Abortion is healthcare.
It's a form of healthcare because it's to do with your health.
Do you feel then it should be left to healthcare professionals to make that decision? You and not you, but the woman and the healthcare professional, or do you think this ultimately should go down to the courts? Because that's where this was decided.
No, but it is left to healthcare though, because when you think about the ones where you said, like, say from 24 weeks, they will have to assess that there's reasonable grounds to do this procedure. Someone like her, where she just wanted to do it because she wanted to go on cute dates, vacations.
No, but what I'm trying to say is, yes, you're 100% right. But I mean, at the end of the day, ultimately, it left the hospital. It became a court situation, and now she's in prison.
I don't think it should be left down to healthcare. No, because ultimately we're all humans, and I might have gone through something last year, and I'm just like, I don't want it. Like, I would never get an abortion. Now I'm projecting that onto this woman that wants to get an abortion. No, you're not doing it. No. Yeah. And I'm carrying my own burdens, and I'm projecting it on you,
on someone, or someone who just lost a baby.
Exactly.
Nope. Yeah.
So I do think it should ultimately be down to the woman.
But I think though, like with a lot of industries, things are in that space until it becomes something where like other agencies have to get involved. And I feel like with this case, I still see it as it was still with the healthcare in terms of it was a healthcare dealing, but this is beyond us now where we have to get the government, the police involved now. Do you get what I mean?
But should it stay solely with the healthcare?
No, because they can't take her to jail. What are they going to do? Ban her from future abortions?
That's pretty much what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is, should it be a situation where wherever we decide here in a hospital, whatever, and it never is a situation where I can be criminalized for this? You know what I'm saying? If I survive, fantastic. Get rid of the baby, you know what I mean? Whatever it may be. But it never goes to the court. Do you know what I'm saying?
I get exactly what you're saying, yeah.
Do you think that's a better way to kind of manage the situation?
Do you know, I want to agree with it, but I don't think that will be enough for some people.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Because then people will just do whatever they want to do, which technically we can see as crimes. And because there's no consequences of the law, just healthcare laws or healthcare bans, that'll be that. And then with healthcare bans, though, that becomes tricky. Because really and truly, as a doctor, a healthcare professional, if someone's life is at risk,
you shouldn't turn them
ban
away.
or not, you can't turn them away.
You shouldn't.
So it gets tricky. So where, say, for example, she got a lifetime ban on abortions, but the next pregnancy, someone that could cost her life, they can't say, well, because you're banned here, we can't. Do you know what I mean? So this is why, unfortunately, you have to then bring other agencies in there.
But then I guess in that situation, you wouldn't ever give someone a lifetime ban. You would just say, this is healthcare. This is something that I would treat
a warning,
like something else.
Yeah.
And which kind of goes back to what I was going to say, ask you guys earlier. You both said if somebody's kind of using abortion like contraception, then you kind of frown upon it and things of that nature. Question is, if one abortion's okay, I'm not saying you're saying it's just okay, but you know what I mean? Why isn't the second one? Why isn't the second? Why isn't the third, fourth, and fifth, and 10th even?
Because you're irresponsible.
But so what though? Do you get where I'm coming from? Like,
so you're irresponsible.
Yeah, so that means I should now just have the baby because now you
teach you some responsibility. You know when you were in school and they gave you them little fake dolls? Here's a real one. You got banned from having sex. This is the thing. Other people should be able to ban from having sex. Because really, how do you deal with that then? You got to make them pay.
This is what I'm trying to say to you.
Is abortions free?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think so.
So you make that person keep paying.
Hold on, abortion, like the one that you have to do in the hospital?
I'm not sure.
I think they are. I'm not sure, but I think they are.
Yeah, so if you're somebody
anyone in the comments, let us know.
So if it's free, you got to pay. Those are the consequences. So now, but like, no.
It won't be that expensive.
No, it has to be. Because we're teaching them a lesson. We're teaching you to be responsible. If you don't know how to have responsible sex, and you just think that, I mean, first of all, it's damaging to your body anyway. But clearly, you don't care about your body or your temple or anything like that. That's fair. That's on your head. Be that. You have to. The consequence of that is basically it's like fines.
Yeah.
So I feel like once you get past your third, 3 gone is too much. But 3, let's just for the sake of argument, 3, you got to start paying for them, and the price increases. So your 6th payment is going to be different to your 10th payment.
So let's just say I can pay for them all the time, and it means nothing.
Okay, yeah, they're free.
Free.
They're free.
Okay. So let's just say we do put this law in where you have to pay for it after the first one, right? What if money is no object to me?
That's fine then.
Okay, cool.
It
So
is what
then,
it is.
so then, does it take it away from the ethical thing and more so just almost like a logistics thing? Because this is what I was asking. Like, why is it that we kind of frown upon somebody? I'm not saying you guys are. I'm just saying generally, if somebody's had 6 abortions, why is that worse than having 1 abortion?
Because you know what it is? I just frown at irresponsible people anyway.
Yeah, but that's just like making one mistake, like making the same mistake over and
Yeah.
like you look at it different because now you're just like, okay, now you're taking the piss.
You're just silly.
Like,
But in normal life, in other areas of life, we all make many mistakes, right?
yeah, but the
Well, not
same
the same
mistake
one, though.
10 times.
Even the same mistake.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like even the same mistake, we repeat plenty of times. We may. I know this may be silly examples, right? But just little things that I don't know. I can't even think of one. But little things.
But you don't make them.
No,
What
but
little things
that have
that
little
don't
consequences.
impact other people?
Yes.
That's the difference.
But who does the abortion impact?
Everyone, like the
If
people.
nobody knows, if it's just you and not you, but the woman and the baby.
Yeah, but as I said, I don't think that's. I just don't.
Do you know what,
think
yeah, to be
the
fair-
fact that you don't consult I just don't think that's
right.
That's right, personally. So either way, to me, you should consult the father, and it will always impact the father.
Okay, cool. Back to this real life situation.
Yeah.
Should the courts have considered the fact that she's got 3 kids that would now not have a mother for 28 months?
Is the mum? Is she a single parent?
I'm not. Maybe the dad may have stepped in now. I'm not too sure.
That's all right then.
Of their domestics.
If they've got a parent, if it's not a thing where they're going to be in foster care and they're going to be with a family member that can actually really take good care of them and stuff like that, then that's fine. You got to do your time, sis. You're not about to start using the fact that your mum to not go to jail. Otherwise, the female jail will be empty and there's a lot of them in there.
Wow, how old are our kids anyway?
I don't even know, you know.
I'm not too sure.
Is this the first case of this type, like particular crime?
I'm not too sure if the first. They make the
Because
little ones here.
if
and
I was
there.
going to
Yeah,
do
scared
that,
that
I would have
she was
Googled, like, what are the consequences? I genuinely would have Googled.
To be fair, she did Google though.
It's
She did
funny you
Google
say
how to
that.
get rid of
Yes.
the babies.
How to get rid of the baby, how to hide my baby bump at 6 months. She
you ain't hiding
Googled.
that.
So-
And I think that went into the whole punishment.
Yeah.
Because she was
You were
preparing
you
for
were
this.
aware, you were
You
prepared.
know, it's
Before.
like, you know those stories you hear from women who, like, they actually don't know that they're pregnant.
Yeah.
Like, they don't know. They think that they're having a really bad they got
period
appendicitis.
cramps.
Yeah,
and, stuff,
and then they go to the hospital or they go toilet and the
And
baby's
then-
head is coming out.
Yeah.
If it was that, yeah, even that is too late anyway. You're giving the baby up for adoption. I feel like hers is just too calculated for the courts to then say, do you know what, this is fine because you got 3 kids. No,
What
man.
happened in the first 24 weeks? That's what I want to know.
This is it.
Her ex wasn't
you
gone.
had
Maxine. Her ex wasn't there.
24 weeks.
Ex
That's
was
6
airing her.
months, you know.
Her ex was airing her. He said, you know what, I'm trying to make things right again.
Sorry, but
And this Christmas, let's have a family Christmas. And she said,
sorry, this one's a bit. Like they actually give you time. They give you 6 months to make a decision.
she could have actually just given the baby up, man. There's not people who are open to adoption. She could have actually given the baby up.
But isn't it like an ordeal to ask a woman who doesn't want this baby to go through with having a baby?
Absolutely is.
It is.
And
But you know what happens
That's
though?
all right.
Do you know what it is though? You play silly games, you win silly prizes. That's the
Yeah,
facts because it's that's reality. It is. It's not nice, but I think of that more for abuse victims than I would think of someone who willingly had sex and then knew she was pregnant the whole time through.
and this is the
She
thing.
said she Googled how to hide my bump, you know. So you knew the bump was there. Nah,
like
no
with,
empathy,
I
man.
just feel like women, like we really do have to be more responsible when it comes to having sex and stuff
have
like
to
that.
be.
Because unfortunately, we're the one that's we're the ones
The
that carry
burden
the
of care's not gonna be on
child.
you.
Like, it's not gonna be the father. So
is it.
you have to be a lot more. And as I said, she's had 3 children already. Ain't no way she could have told me she didn't know she was pregnant. Like.
You've done it 3
from
times.
when you know, even the signs start from, you just know there's certain signs that you'll be able to recognize. You had 6 months to make a decision. You left it until that one baffles me a bit.
Because if she genuinely didn't know until like the 6th month,
Then fair
could hear
enough,
it.
but you
But if you
prepared and
did-
everything for it. Yeah.
come on, man. You're responsible when you have sex and you're responsible when you get pregnant too. You just don't make good life decisions.
but we know the world is full of people like that though.
But I think
Case in point.
because of this whole abortion, these new laws and stuff,
yeah.
I think they had to kind of use her to make an example.
Because I'm not
This
too
is deep.
sure if anyone's been actually like been taken to prison for
Yeah,
something like this.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like people are campaigning right now saying, look, they need to change these laws. This shouldn't be a criminal offence.
So she should have just gone. Do you know what? I hear it. I hear why they're saying that.
It's a tricky one, man.
I guess they're thinking that there's no harm. No harm. What is it? No harm, no foul? Yeah, they're thinking there's no actual harm. I get why they think that.
So if they think that it's not a criminal offence, then they should just lift the ban on, like, take the whole thing away.
So you can do it at the 9th hour.
That's what they're saying, though. That's basically what they're saying.
Exactly
You can do it
saying.
at the 9th hour, where your baby is fully developed and can live.
That's scary.
Yes.
That's basically what it's, just lift the whole thing then.
Yeah.
So wait, so if the baby came out, fresh out the womb, and then they killed baby, you go to jail for that?
The baby's out.
Baby's out
Baby's
now.
out.
Yeah, 100%. That's murder, isn't it? Straight murder.
Still the 9th month though.
Yes.
The baby's early.
But you see why the line's very blurred?
Because if you decriminalize it there, they can be like, well, technically baby came early, so technically this is still during the period. Like, you can start bringing up a lot of technicality arguments.
I guess they may look at if the baby was naturally, like, if the thingy was labor was induced naturally, or if you tried to do something to bring the baby out. If it was a natural thing, then I don't think you get away with it. But yeah, man,
It's a bit of a tricky one,
It
man.
is tricky.
So okay, so in you guys' opinion, being straight about it, this is murder.
I said that when you said it. Ain't no shame in my game. I said that as soon as you said that, I said, no, that's murder. But I'm aware that this is my personal.
A lot of people
Keep your thongs in a bunch.
I think most people are saying that.
This
anyway.
is how I feel because for me that's a full-formed baby. That's a baby that you could have given birth to prematurely. That they would have put in the incubator. And, do you know what I mean? Like that's that's a baby.
Yeah.
So based on my personal opinions and thoughts on abortion, that's me, Esther. I see it as murder.
Yeah, I think it is. Like, my little brother was premature, came at 35 weeks.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Exactly. So saying that it's
Sense,
murder,
man.
that means they should
murder
person
charge.
should go to prison.
I
Do
think
you think it should be definitely more lenient than a proper like murder charge?
No,
Or
but
do you feel like
it was premeditated still. It was like...
Yeah, I think if they're saying it's illegal, so that means you're deemed to be essentially taking a life or whatever.
yeah.
Then you should be treated the same way, whether it's a like 20. You wouldn't get 28 months for killing someone.
There you go. This is why those people who are against this are basically saying the charge is too lenient. 28 months is not enough. Obviously, you should come out after 14. Not too
It's
bad.
just, do you know, I just think it's so sad. Like,
It is sad.
babies are just so helpless. Like, it's sad. Like, I just think, yeah, obviously everyone has the choice to do whatever they want, but yeah.
All right, man. I think we've kind of got a general consensus there, man. I think we can move on.
Thank you very much. Let's get into our next headlines.
All right, trigger warning here. People were killed in a raid in Israel. So mourners were laying their loved ones to rest hours after Israeli forces killed 5 Palestinians and wounded at least 91 during a large-scale incursion into the occupied West Bank's Jenin refugee camp. The raid began early Monday with Israeli soldiers backed by helicopters storming the camp, firing live ammunition, stun grenades and toxic gas. This is according to the Wafa news agency. One of the Palestinian fatalities was a child, unfortunately. The Palestinian Ministry of Health identified the victims as Ahmed Sakir, who's 15. So these are all young people, by the way. Khalid Darwish, 21. Kazim Saria, who was 19. Kazam Faisal Abu Syria, 29. And Ahmed Daragmeh. All young people. At least 22 injured Palestinians are believed to be in critical condition. Reporting from the occupied West Bank, Al Jazeera's Nida Ibrahim said that Israeli military forces withdrew from the camp after several hours. The person also said that we're here in a cemetery in the Jenin refugee camp. There are mourners, people related to those who were killed today and buried here. Relatives and friends are coming to pay their respects and to show solidarity with the families, to show sadness, to show anger. Next headline, and the pilot program that may be ready for next summer. What you guys think of this, man? A blood test that can detect 50 types of cancer could reportedly be offered to 1 million people in a pilot program from next summer. The NHS Chief Executive Amanda Pritchard said that the Gallery test, is what it's called, developed by a US company called Grail, has the potential to transform cancer care forever. That's according to the Times. The test detects fragments of tumor DNA circulating in the bloodstream. It can detect cancers that are not routinely screened for, and it can find where the disease is coming from in the body with a high degree of accuracy. The paper reports that Ms. Pritchard saying that if Ms. Pritchard saying that if provisional results of the trial prove successful, tests will be rolled out to an extra 1 million people from next summer as well. It also cites her saying that our pioneering NHS Gallery trial, now in the second year, is the first step in testing a new way to identify cancers before symptoms even appear. If provisional results prove successful, we will all be rolling out the test to an extra 1 million people across the country from next summer, with the aim of diagnosing thousands more people with cancer at an earlier stage. The Gallery test has been trialled on around currently 140,000 British people, Britons aged 50 to 77. And the last headline here, some sad news, and this is crazy, man. Did you guys hear about the Titanic tourist craft?
I heard something about it. I didn't read it properly though.
Yeah,
It was at the bottom of the sea or something like that.
Yeah. Well, it's missing.
Or it's missing, okay.
Yeah.
With people in it.
Yeah. So yeah, a submersible craft used to take people to see the wreck of the Titanic has gone missing in the Atlantic Ocean with its crew on board, which is sparking a major search and rescue operation. The tour firm, Ocean Gate, which runs a $250,000 a seat expedition to the wreck. To get your one seat costs $250,000, right? Said it was exploring all options to get the crew back safely. It said that government agencies and deep sea firms were helping the operation. The Titanic, as you guys know, sank in 1912 and lies some 3,800 meters beneath the waves. The missing craft is believed to be the Ocean Gate's Titan submersible, which is a truck-sized submarine or sub that holds 5 people and usually dives with a 4-day supply of oxygen. So obviously it's been lost now. So they're worried that obviously the oxygen supplies are going to be running out. It's not known when contact with the craft was lost, but the vessel was reportedly overdue on Sunday evening, about 435 miles south of St. John's in Newfoundland. Yeah, man. Apparently,
Sorry, no, go on.
No, I'm pretty much done. I was just going to say that apparently there's a British billionaire businessman on that thing, you know. Obviously, they felt the need to mention that, but yeah.
Because they need the money. So they've gone, did they go sightseeing? Is that what it is?
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much.
And now they're missing?
To see the Titanic, yeah.
Underneath? Why?
Yeah.
Under the water?
Yeah.
So they're in a submarine?
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah.
And they're missing underwater?
Yeah. Cost $250,000 for a seat.
So you you got too much money, you don't know what to do with it.
Because not you about to be the next Titanic that people are going to come and sightsee.
Basically, yeah, man.
That's wild. How do they get found? That's deep.
Yeah.
How many people?
I think it's 5 people.
Okay.
Yeah. The actual sub holds 5 people, yeah. It usually dives with a 4-day supply of oxygen. So I think it's only 5 people, yeah. But
How many days has it been so far?
I'm not too sure, but I think the last thing I saw, they said there's like 72 hours left of oxygen. So, something like that.
They're missing for a day?
Or 27 hours left, something like that.
It's got to be 27 because 72
Yeah,
hours,
I
they
think
just
it's-
left.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's maybe 27.
You don't even know they're missing yet. They just left. It's been a day.
I need to double check.
That's
Yeah.
horrible. I hope they get found.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's it for that.
Boredom at its highest. All right, let's get into Word and Road. Dear. All right. So, firstly, right, this is just some foolishness. So basically, yeah, it's funny. We were talking about this yesterday, and the people who are pro don't mind your business decided to talk about Jorja Smith's weight gain. And literally, when I tell you, yeah, people, like, it was a whole thing. Like, sis was really trending. So she's either trending because she's making inappropriate sexual jokes at the woman, or now she's trending because she's put on weight, and now people are debating whether or not she's fat. Like, that was...
Fat or what?
No, like, that was an actual debate. Not Brent typing so fast. But that was the actual debate. Like, is she fat? And then there was this whole thing about basically the guys who fancied her and who have always lusted after her are not saying she's fat because they fancy her, but they're like, yeah, but if it was another girl, you would have said she's fat. But for me, the arguments I just liked the best, you know, me, my stance, people were like, what's it got to do with you? Like, what's it got to do with anybody? So it's all of that. I don't know if she's responded. I don't think she would. It was just wild to me to
but is it really wild that people are discussing her weight?
Do you
That's not wild. I would expect that.
Do you know what it is?
If Beyonce was her weight, people would discuss her.
Yeah, but do you know what it is? I'm like this with social media in general. Like, I don't like the idea of social media. I don't like the idea that social media gives people so much access to people. And they think, that, like, I don't like the idea that people think because it's social media, they can just say whatever it is they want to say. And there's like, no, people don't think of consequences. So unfortunately for myself, whenever things happen, I just can't believe the level of intrusiveness.
Of entitlement and
like, she was never going to date you. Like, how are you expressing your disgust at how she looks when you were never going to be a candidate? Like, this was never going to affect you, but you're really hot and bothered. And when people are telling to mind your business, you're literally going back and forth with them, telling them no, you did it. Like, it's crazy to me. So I always find it fascinating, the heart of human beings.
People do this for complete strangers.
That's why I said I'm not surprised.
No, but she's a stranger to them.
No, but she's famous.
That they do. Oh, that's true. Actually, they do it. Yeah, but that shocks me as well, though. I'm shocked by it all. I'm shocked by it all because I'm just okay. But anyways, someone else who was being called out on the internet this one deserved it, is Russell Simmons. So Russell Simmons at the moment lives in Bali. This is following the 2017 accusations. Trigger warning actually. It's a lot of triggers. But following the accusations of rape of 3 women during the whole Me Too movement, he basically skipped town and has been living in Bali ever since. Of course, he's denied it, but they all do. So basically, yesterday evening, his daughter, he's got 2 daughters with Kimora Lee, and his daughter, I don't know how to say her name, I think it's Aoki.
Yeah, I think so.
Sounds about right. Yeah, Aoki, and the other daughter is Ming. But Aoki is the one who basically went on Instagram. She basically did an Instagram live, and she basically was just like, she had a breakdown, as in like upset, crying, and basically talking about how her dad has been really, really abusive. She showed some of the texts, and she said, so basically people were talking about like, you shouldn't be doing this. Fat Joe and his non-minding business self talking about, oh, we don't need to know this. Sir, if you don't face your front. But her thing was that this has been going on for years, like for years. And apparently like maybe like the last 3 years where he's been very abusive to them, that the kids, very disrespectful and abusive to the mum as well. She said she was like how they broke up like 15 years ago, whenever they broke up, 20 years ago, the parents divorced. But she said for the longest time, like, it's always been good. Because her thing is also from a place of, I want this abuse to stop. And essentially, embarrassment and shame is the only way that he might actually stop this. Because one of the things that he says to them is, you're not going to speak about this. No one's going to believe you. I'm Russell Simmons. You have no power. So essentially, she was like, by embarrassing him, because he really cares about his image and what people think of him. So she was like, by putting this out there and people knowing this is what he does, maybe this will then help stop that. He does have a statement. I'll read all of that out in a bit. But so she basically talked about how for years, she said she is worried because she feels like it's like he's going through, like having like a mental breakdown. Something, because his character's just done a complete 180. She said when the parents obviously divorced or whatever, they've always gone along. He's gone along with even Kimora's ex-husband as well. He's the godfather to like her 2 other kids. Like, she was like how they go on family holiday. Like that, it's always been bliss and just wonderful. But he's just being very like vengeful and very crazy. She was talking about how he keeps talking to her about a court case. Apparently there was this whole thing with money and whatever, and apparently he's broke. He's lost all his money, and he keeps blaming Kimora for that. But then Kimora came out and said, actually, the past 10 years, you've been a kept man. It's been me and my ex-husband taking care of you, helping you with your businesses, helping you with your overheads, helping you with all these things. And she referenced when he sat down with academics and was talking about how he's rich. And she was like, no, you're not. Like, you haven't had money for the last 10 years. So this money you keep saying I stole from you, I didn't. You lost money because you were irresponsible kind of thing. But what he does is that he speaks to the kids about that. So when the kids call him or whatever, he'll be like, I'll tell your bitch mum, because you're all bitch. He literally calls, he'll be like, oh, you and your bitch mum. She's got it in text, but I'll read some of the text out. He's like, you and your bitch mum, she stole my money. And the girl was like, listen, whatever happens with yous lot, I'm not part of the court case. I don't know anything about this. So I want to have a relationship. Like, my relationship with you is my relationship with you. Stop bringing in arguments and whatever you have with your mum. And she was like, how he would just be shouting at her. And like, she had a screen recording of when she was on FaceTime with him. You can obviously see him shouting. But you can't hear anything because you can't record, record FaceTime and stuff. But like, she was like, it got to the point where she basically had to be on like anxiety medications where you couldn't even bring him up in a conversation because she literally will have a panic attack because of how much he was always putting all that hate that he has for the mum on them. And she was like, there's no conversation she could ever try to have with him where he would not be just go the way he's going. And then she was also saying how he doesn't help them financially, anything like that. And it annoyed me because she said that as like a passing comment, and people just focus on that and like, oh, these rich kids, my dad doesn't help me money either. So essentially they feel like they're crying because they're not being helped financially. But she was like, it's not that. So she was saying how she was going to do like a trip or whatever, a camp or whatever. And he was like to her, yeah, like everything is like good. I've sent you money, whatever. As soon as she landed, he cut off all her cards and whatever, so she couldn't have any money. And she was like, I'm stranded. And he was like, well, go and ask your bitch ass mum to help you then, kind of thing. So she was like, how he does stuff like that, like intentionally, like intention to hurt them, kind of thing. She was like, at the moment she lives with her friend because he doesn't help her with rent or whatever. But she was like, to be fair, her mum obviously has been the one carrying anyway, been helping. And all that stuff, but it was all really, really crazy. So I'm going to read some of the screenshots out. Hold on, bear with me. So, I forgot something else I was going to talk about. Okay, I didn't know that. So basically, in the live video, her caption was, my father is not well. For years, he needs help and wouldn't accept the help. He refuses to acknowledge he's not himself. He has threatened and bullied my sister. Yeah, okay, I'll tell you. I can tell. He has threatened and bullied my sister, my grandma. He has harassed my grandma in the middle of the night in poor health. He sent a man to my sister's apartment at 2 a.m. to scare her. He lashes out at anyone who does not say, oh, Russell, everything is fine. Well, it's not fine. If I never get a fashion job again, that's what he threatens her with. I'll be a lawyer, I guess, and work in criminal justice. Sure, I love my job, but if he takes it away from me, I won't die. You don't threaten my sister and grandma and mother and say who's going to believe you. I'm Russell Simmons. Nobody thinks I'm crazy. So essentially with the sister one, he basically got someone to go to her house, right, in the middle of the night to get her to sign her inheritance away. So the person comes in with like this whole thing that she should sign, and she's like, what's going on? So the person obviously ended up like threatening her and whatever. Like, so that's the kind of weird things he's been doing, and like threatening the grandmas. What, like, why is grandma in it? But anyway, so she then showed some screenshots of messages. Some of them she said, one of them she said, I'm out here praying for you and hoping everything goes well, and you call my mother a piece of shit. And he says, so she must have said she was neutral. And he said, neutral my ass. I don't even appear in your media, and your mother has stolen my money and the love of my kids, as she promised she is a piece of shit. And then she said something about like, she said, I will never speak to you again until you die. Don't ever say that again. She did not steal it, you lost it. Then he said, she's a piece of shit. Then she says, you lost it with your actions. And then she showed like, Sunday when she sent him a Happy Father's Day message. So it's like, it's very like good 1 minute, then he crazy about it. Because she sent a Happy Father's Day message and she said, it was nice you were here last year for it, but have a great day, Dad. I love you. And I hope it's a right day in Bali. And he says, I love you. So she was like, I do my best. I do not side with anyone over any legal business. He's been directly harmful to me. He tries to get at my mum by hurting us. Since I was 16, 17, he literally forced me into needing therapy, but said he's sorry he doesn't have $100 a month to pay for a session. Then she screenshot another message where she says, Dad, I stopped talking to you because you were giving me panic attacks to the point I was placed on emergency medication every time we spoke. I cannot have a relationship with you until that stops. No one stops me from talking to you. My health does. I have to put that first. Every time I spoke to you, you would yell and scream about a legal situation that I can't even respond to because I'm not involved. I'm your child, not your lawyer, your ex-wife, any of that. I'm none of that. I can do nothing, yet you yell at me like it's my fault. You're putting so much anger and rage on me every phone call, cursing, screaming, and God knows what else. I'm sorry, but I cannot be the target of that. It's not fair. It got to the point where I could not hear your voice without having an anxiety attack. You have to at least respect I'm putting my health and well-being first. And then he then shows messages where he's basically talking about telling her that he's broke and blah, blah. And she was like, I've done everything I could do since I was 15. I have tried my hardest to not have drama, to be quiet and calm for the sake of the family that I love. But I don't know what a person can do at this point. Maybe if I was older, I'd know. She says some of us do think he's mentally ill or experiencing something like dementia. He really acts like he hates and does not know his children frequently. Prior to his media issues, he was really the best dad ever and a great co-parent. He and my mum were best friends. We all defended him against anything. Y'all shouldn't have done that because you don't know those women's stories, but that's another story for another day. And then he suddenly turned on anyone who would let him lash out. It's a really just terrifying change to watch. And then she kind of showed like screenshots of where she's posted her dad because she talked about how, she doesn't post him or whatever. And he had this. So basically, I feel like all of this was triggered by him. Basically, it was because the sister, Ming, on Father's Day, wished their mum a happy Father's Day. So
I was just about to say, what's her sister saying?
Ming is quiet. Ming is me. But she was saying how Ming is quiet. Like, Ming is a quiet person. So that's why she's even extra annoyed because how can you send someone to threaten this girl who literally just works and minds a business and she's the quiet one in the family? So he was triggered because Ming said happy Father's Day to the mum.
That says a lot though.
It says a lot. Yeah. And if you're a good father, she wouldn't have had to do that. The mums had to step up. So then he then posted these, when they post up quotes, he says, the father you have is the perfect father for evolution of your soul and the lessons that you needed to learn in this lifetime. It then says, stop telling fathers they should have fought harder to see their children and start asking mothers why he had to fight at all. Okay. But then Kimura, anyway, she then went on to say, I'm sorry to have to do this, but this man has been threatening my kids' lives. She also went on Instagram Live. I'll get to that in a minute. I'm hearing so much more now. We won't be bullied, threatened, or afraid. Who gives a fuck? Leave my kids alone. This narrative of attacking the only caregiver, the only parent in the home with the kids, the mum and the kids for one's own shortcomings and embarrassment is dead. They're dead. The same abusive shit. This is how you maneuver with the world and women all around you. Your threats and lies and intimidation maneuvers and tactics are sad. Stop it, please. Your own flesh and blood. Enough is enough. She said, you said Aoki and Ming would never work again and that you ruin their careers. This is how you learn. If people don't mess with you, then they don't mess with you. No love lost. And for those of you who know and send your love and support, thank you. We love you. And then he then posted the girls up and says, love, God is, I hate when people say God is testing them when they do some bullshit. It says, love, God is, he's writing a caption like he's flipping Rev Run in the bath. Talking about love. God is testing you a little bit. It's okay. Be strong. They are called growing pains.
The manipulation, the gaslighting is crazy.
Foolishness. As you know, we grow through adversity and struggle. You read my books and heard me preach your whole childhood. Reach back to old lessons and remember to remember. Smile and breathe. Smile and breathe. You are the watchers of this world, so let go. Be at ease. God is driving and he's working on you. Deeply sorry for being frustrated and yelling. But know this, there are no conditions. For sure, I love you guys more than I love myself. Right, straight from the caption of the Father of the Year. It's some bullshit, man. But yeah, she basically, so Kimura also went on Instagram Live and she's got the same mindset that Aoki went, which was that the only way we've tried everything behind closed doors. She said she's tried lawyers, trying to get, whatever orders it is for him to stop doing this. She showed receipts. She said he does things like he was sending himself flowers and then saves from her. Like he's been antagonizing her in little ways like that. And she was like, she's got receipts from people in his office who confirmed that he ordered the flowers for himself. But he'll put it on Instagram and be like, oh, like she's sending me flowers. She was like how for years he's just been doing these things and like it's a point where they don't know how else for this to be dealt with. And this is the last resort essentially. So she basically went on Instagram and pleaded with him to leave the kids alone, to stop abusing them, stop abusing them essentially. And then that's what she said about the whole, he doesn't have any money. So she's like, he keeps talking about, she stole money from him. She's like, you don't have any money. For the past 10 years, my ex-husband and I were the ones who've been funding your life. Like your businesses, all the investments, all that kind of stuff. So she was like, it's just crazy to her, essentially what he's just doing. But hopefully they're all right, man. They were with the Diddy kids afterwards, as in Kimura and them. So I guess they're good. But hopefully they're all fine. And yeah, but for someone who's hiding, I mean, and obviously there is that whole conversation about the age gap between them, like 20 plus years. When she was 15 and he was about 40 or something like that when they met, when it started going on, blah, blah. So that whole conversation's come up as well about, the circumstances in which they got together anyway, he and Kimura. it's all a mess.
What do you think about people going on social media to do stuff like that?
It's not
to call out the abusers.
I think I'm here for that, because with social media, like not even just social media, I struggle with opening up to people in real life anyway. So me doing on social media will be very, very wild. However, I do think that because we live in an age where a lot of people care about their image, and a lot of people perform for the public and don't care to be real for the people in their actual lives, you got to get them where it hurts. And I think it's important as well. Certain people, if it's like a public figure, it's important for people to know who they're associating with, because they can be all perfect and whatever, but this is how you live behind closed doors. This is what you do to people behind closed doors. So when it comes to abuse and stuff like that, I don't mind that.
Do you mind if, like, let's just say you've been abused for like a year or something, but you've never gone to the police, and then you go to social media? Do you think there's anything wrong with that?
No, because I've worked with, when I was younger, I worked with like abuse victims. And when it comes to abuse, there's a lot that it's not as easy as just speak up. It's not as easy as go to the police. Like, there's so much, abusers do a lot of work on their victims that, for me, I see it as a thing where, because some victims or survivors, what they do is, there's just one day where it's like, do you know what? Something just clicks. And this is when I want to speak out. So for me, whatever way that is, whether you're going to the police, whether you're telling someone close to you, whether you're going on social media, the fact that this moment has come, I just want you to take it. Because that moment might not come again for the next 10 years. So
the reason why I asked that is because I don't know whether you saw on social media, it wasn't recent, but Lin May reposted something that was on one of these podcasts on YouTube. Yeah. And it's a woman called Auntie, and she was saying basically, if you go to social media and you don't go to the police, a man should do you for defamation of character, regardless of whatever it is.
Yeah, but that woman is, there's screws loose. There's a lot of screws loose up there. So I'm not shocked by that. Well, her take.
I was going to ask her, why would it be, because I'm generally asking because I don't know. Like, why would it ever be easier to go to social media than the police?
Because, I mean, we know the stats, though. We did a whole thing about the Met and how they ignore abuse victims. They don't take it seriously. There's all that stuff. And I think when you hear a lot about how police don't take it seriously, why am I going to waste my time? If there was a lot of confidence in police doing stuff, I think more people would want to go to police. But when you go to, there's this thing about, if something happened to me, I'll be honest, I would think twice about going to police. I really would. I feel like I would go to social media if I go to police. Because the police, it's not a nice experience from what goes around. And unfortunately, their statistics have not their statistics, supports the public perception. And again, it speaks to that whole bravery thing I speak of, which is, if this is what's easy for you, this is how you want to get it out, whatever it is, get it out. Because again, because a lot of abuse cases are not investigated, going to police doesn't threaten abusers enough as you saying, I'm going to go on Instagram, where all your friends and all your family are, where you know that whatever circles you're going to be in, people are going to look at you different because they know what you did. If I go to police, it's a private investigation. It's quiet until you have to go to jail, for example, if you get sentenced. Not many of them get sentenced. So I get why people do. It's about,
She said if you don't report it and there's no record of it, it didn't happen.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, she's a sicko.
That's what I was going to say. I was going to say that
she's a right sicko.
Isn't it important though, like, to kind of spread the message that at least, even if the police don't take it serious, there was a record of you coming there saying this. So worst case scenario, if you then go to social media after, that police person who didn't take it serious, something can happen to them.
Do you know what's crazy though?
At least you went through the proper channels.
We say that though. There's people who have gone to the police though.
Nothing will happen to them police.
But do you know what it is? There's people that have gone to the police and then they've gone on social media and they've been scrutinized and broken down the same way the person who did not go to police in the first place did. Like, there's nothing in society that says we support...
This one's more true than that one.
Either way, you're being questioned. Either way, your story is going to be...
Because people lie and go to the police about rape and all of that stuff. So it doesn't necessarily mean that it's true.
This is it.
Okay, but
so you got to do what works for you.
Who's going to say something?
I was.
Go on.
What happened?
Because you might ask the question. Obviously, the other day we were talking about party, innit?
Okay.
And she went to the police and he got off on a technicality because of some legal overseas on the other.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
and then she went on social media and that's when we found out.
Yeah.
You understand? And now, obviously, there's hatred towards him because of that approach as opposed to the police approach.
So if she didn't go to social media, then this wouldn't even
We
be a
wouldn't have
thing.
known about it.
You would have known.
Yeah, and you wouldn't be basically saying what you were saying the other day.
I don't know the ins and outs of that case at all, right? But do we know everything about the case though?
No, we don't know everything. about the
All
case,
we
but-
know is her side of the story, right?
Yeah, and the fact that it is that she went to the police and she showed that, and the fact that is that she got off on a technicality off the back of timing.
But that's her saying that she got off on technicality, right?
No, that's the police saying that.
Oh, the police said it.
Did she show?
No, there was a whole thing about him getting off on
I
a
think-
technicality.
Yeah, there
Were
was
there
like some
receipts
kind
shown?
of.
It wasn't in the news.
There was some kind of like,
As in the chief's receipts
I don't know. There was some kind of jurisdiction thing.
Yeah,
or
'cause
But
it's
did
time
she show the
limit.
receipts though?
of like.
Because I swear,
I
Yeah.
believe that's common
swear-
knowledge, isn't
Wasn't
it?
he the one that said, yes, you were sleeping, but I wanted anyway? Was that
Yeah,
him?
yeah.
Exactly. What? He actually admitted it. Like,
Yeah.
and that was wild because he actually admitted it.
He said, "I don't care if you were sleeping."
Yeah.
you said
Wild.
it was a language barrier.
Huh?
You said
No,
it
it
was a
wasn't. He
language
was.
barrier.
No. What I said was the only. I'm saying that the only excuse that you could probably make when you read those screenshots of talking, yeah, the only thing that you can actually put in there is a language barrier, like because certain man, when they're especially the man that they're not English ain't necessarily their first language, so when they speak, when they say things, you can't always take it as you read it. Like, if that
yeah,
makes
I get
sense.
you.
Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
That's I'm saying, and I said. Just to be fair, that's the only thing that you could even want to throw in there if you want to throw it in there. But he said what he said in black and white. That's all I was saying. But if you want to be, it's not even about because you would want to be fair in these places. A non-English, if English ain't your first language, when you talk, things
Yeah.
can get taken the wrong way. Definitely when you type,
Yeah.
and even people that speak in English,
Yeah.
when me and you are typing, you can take the things that I'm saying
The wrong way,
the
yeah.
wrong way, innit? Do you know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, and I can't remember if it is that she had put up any documents and then blurred out some stuff. Can you remember?
I can't remember. I can't remember
documents.
exactly what she showed, but I remember it. I believe ain't it like common knowledge that like he didn't get charged because of
I think the
whether it
police-
be like
I think
a
the
time
police
or
statement-
is the
I think they
distance.
did
or-
report that in some
Yeah.
articles as well.
They did. I think the police were the ones that the police actually. I'm sure there was a statement that said that he got off on a technicality.
I feel like there is. I don't
And
feel
it
like
was to
it's
do
just her
something-
opinion.
yeah.
I
It
feel like
wasn't
it,
opinion.
I feel like it happened.
There was definitely 100% receipts for that. I remember that.
Okay.
I think going to the police, it's very technical because if somebody's abusing you emotionally, what proof do you like? When you go to the police, you have to give proof. That there has to be some proof of something. But if somebody's abusing you emotionally, how do you give proof? Like it's
can't.
not that simple.
That's the thing.
It's really not. If you abuse me physically, cool, I can show you the bruises and that. But now I have to prove that it came from him. Do you get what I'm saying? It's very.
It's like it's never ending.
Yeah.
What you've got to prove.
And it's like, I'm going through this every day, and now I have to prove that I'm going through this every day.
Yeah.
So just me trying to put into a bit of pushback here. So what does social media do for that person? So you can't prove it to the police.
I guess it's kind of like what Esther says. It exposes them. It embarrasses them. It humiliates them.
It's like social justice.
Yeah, it's like social
Okay.
justice.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, we know the power social media has. Like none of us can
But,
deny
yeah.
that.
Because
Like we-
people. Sorry, baby, go on.
No, go on. Yeah, I was going to say, we know the power that social media has. So sometimes you get more, support on there than you would get when you're telling a whole bunch of men what's happened to you.
Yeah.
So,
And there's people like who they've been exposed years ago, but people know that about you now. Like that is your story now.
But
Because you did that.
isn't
You
that
gotta go through the
dangerous,
proper channels, man. You gotta
No,
use
it's
the police,
not.
man.
That's what I was just about to say. Like,
You
not
gotta go
because
through the
of
proper channels
dangerous.
because
Nah, man.
if you're just
What does
talking
proper
shit
channels do,
about
though?
something, because you leave too much like up for debate, too much open in the air. If I'd done anything to you, if there was really shit, you'd go to the police. If I'd done anything to you, I'd be in trouble.
Okay,
Like,
so
you
the
just
girl-
sit here
the-
and
the
chat
party
shit
girl went to the
and want to
police.
embarrass me and want what?
The party girl went to proper channels. What happened then?
Exactly.
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 What?
So
Exactly what?
so we can't question it now. Now when she's dropping she's done what she was supposed to do. She's not just talking shit. She went to the police.
That's what I'm
She's got her
saying.
receipts.
Okay, but-
so the police didn't help her, but no one can't be chatting shit about her
But
this
about
is
what
the
she's
thing.
saying.
So
I
if-
went to the police. I
Yeah,
went
but
to the
Mark,
proper
if
channels.
You
somebody's
say that
been-
people did chat shit about her.
but if
Yeah, but
somebody's
that's
been...
that's like there's bare idiot men out there. You can't be listening to these that
But if you're
their
abusing
opinion
me
doesn't
emotionally,
count.
how do I go to the police and what do I say to them?
Huh?
If someone's abusing me emotionally, how do I go? Oh, he keeps calling me an idiot. He keeps calling me this. Oh, he's saying this to me. They're gonna be like,
Yeah, but there's
What
got to
do you
be.
do?
Yeah, but there's got to be more. There's got to be more than that, innit? If you're telling me someone just keeps calling you an idiot, I don't feel sorry for you. Why are you staying with this person when they're just calling you an idiot? Just leave.
It's not. No, but
This is the point. We're back to the start. You cannot.
It's not
How
that
you talking about
simple.
physical? You talking about.
Everybody
It's
could
not
leave.
that
There'll be
simple.
no.
You said, how do you prove
If everyone
someone's
could leave, the
emotionally
stats for
abusing
abuse
me? Yeah?
would be low.
What I'm trying to say is, you said, how do you prove someone's emotionally abusing? He keeps calling me idiot. He keeps doing this. He keeps doing me that. All you said is there's
Sometimes
nothing
it's
physical.
manipulation. It's not. He might.
Yeah, but
That's the thing.
He makes you.
That's
think,
all emotional abuse.
Exactly.
Huh?
You do
Like
things to start thinking
manipulation,
to make me start thinking I'm crazy and stuff like
Yeah.
that. It's all emotional abuse. You move the
How do you
keys
prove
there,
that?
and I'm just like, I swear I moved the keys. You're just like, no, the keys were there. It's a mind f. That's what
every
it is.
day.
Yeah, but that's not illegal.
It's abuse, though.
But it's abuse. And this is why I'm saying it's not that easy just to go to the police because, as you said, it's not illegal, but you're abusing me. And it's not that easy to get up and leave. Otherwise, as you said, the stats
There
would
will
be
be
very
no
low.
abuse.
The
If
stats
everyone
would be
could just get up and
stupidly
leave.
low.
If everyone
It's
could
not
get up and
that
leave,
easy.
there would be no abuse. And that's the thing, because people say, leave, just leave. If everybody, you think people that abuse enjoy abuse?
Listen,
they
do
would leave.
you know some
They
what,
don't-
what
they
some
can't.
people do to abuse you? You come in, your whole house has changed, and you're like, you come in like, what's happened? You're like, nothing's happened.
This
They
how it's
act
been.
like the house has always been like that for 10 years.
Do you know what
And
that
you're
does to a person mentally?
like it's
Nah,
but-
man.
Do you know,
No,
it's
but when it's a
dangerous, though.
continuous thing,
Yeah, but-
you start thinking, am I the crazy one? It's that I know it sounds mad because
I think some
obviously
people- you
none
can
of us
run
has
mad
ever
from
been
that,
through
though.
it, but it sounds mad. But these are things that people are doing to mind. And you know,
Literally.
and the thing is, men know or women know the type of people that they can do
They
it.
can
with.
do that
They can
to.
do it to. You have to know the person that you can do it to. You know how they think. You know how you can manipulate them. It's all a game. Like I know it sounds. As I said, I know it sounds mad that you come in, your whole house is done, and the man's telling you,
No, but there's,
what are you talking
but
about?
those
You
are real
crazy? It's
stories,
always been
though.
like
People
this.
that they do. And the thing is, imagine that over time, over years.
Mm-hmm.
Now, like everything that you know about life and reality
Is-
you're questioning, because you
you're
really feel like you're going
questioning it.
crazy.
Yeah.
You might feel like you have dementia. Like you will run mad.
Mm-hmm.
You will go crazy. So, but not everything is easy to improve, because even the girls who have flipping what's it called bruises and stuff like that, even they have to. There's just so much to do. It's not as easy as leave, and it's not easy to just go to the police. I'm gonna go to the police where there's other men there who are not gonna get and be like, oh, why did you? Literally, there's people who go to the police and they're like, yeah, but what were you wearing?
Yeah.
And then that's it now. They don't
Yeah.
care anymore.
Oh, people are
When
saying
you tell them
emotional
that's it
abuse
now.
is illegal. Sorry.
Emotional abuses, financial abuses, there's different types of abuse. So when you say, like, the police, unfortunately, they don't have a good PR.
Yeah.
And that's what is funny to me, because on a normal day, people don't want to go to police for anything. But when it comes to abuse, they're like, oh, just go to the police. Well, the same people you don't trust when they stop you, when they stop
When they stop and search you. Yeah.
But you want someone who's been abused
To now go to the police
to
and
then
trust
go to
them
them
to
and
do
trust
the
them
right
to help
thing.
them
You
out.
need a paper trail. It
Don't
doesn't
be
matter
silly,
what
man.
crime's committed. You need a crime reference number. If you ain't got no proof, if you haven't admitted proof of your crime, what are we doing here?
But you know how...
Yeah, but
wait,
Margs,
sorry,
that does. Sorry, go on, babe. Go on.
Do you know how wild it is, though? You're saying go to police. Do you know how wild it is here? That it is like it's known that the police will not help you. If the police were that trustworthy, if that system was so trustworthy, more people would go to the police.
Yeah,
The
but
reason why people don't go to the police
you
is
still
because
got to
it's
go
not
through the
trustworthy.
process. If there was a girl who was going to the police, who was doing all this stuff, yeah, and they didn't listen, and then anything worse come to worse, anything happened to her, when you go through the story, yeah, the problem falls back onto the police when you can highlight it, because you can see she went to the police. She went to the police, nothing got done.
And then
if
they
you
get
don't go
suspended
to the
for 2
police,
months and
then
go
but
back to
whatever,
work.
no, but if you don't go to the police, then what? There's nothing here.
Do you know
No
what
one
is
knew
that-
nothing.
I
I'm not
think
saying that.
people forget as well,
I'm not
yeah.
saying going to the police is definitely going to work. I'm not saying it's definitely going to get you the results you want. I'm saying you got to go through the proper channels. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like this is how it works. If you're reporting something, you can't just leave it to up in the air and conjecture all these things. Prove it. Like I've made a police report.
So
You get what I'm
someone
trying to say?
someone hasn't gone to the police, but they've got all the receipts they are. You still think they should have gone to police first?
If they got all the receipts, they should have went to the police definitely. If they got all the
The same
receipts.
police that wouldn't do anything.
It doesn't matter. Lock the person up. Look, you know what it is, yeah? And I
we're
understand.
just going to agree to disagree, because this is very wild to me.
Everybody's you can't speak for like how people's mentality and stuff, and there's abuse, emotional, physical, all of these stuff one-on-one and whatnot, yeah, and that is granted, yeah, so you can't put your opinions on these people, yeah, but there's also, yeah, like you're saying, people know their victims and know who they're picking these people out and know who they can manipulate, yeah, but there is also some people in life, yeah, who would never put themselves in their positions, innit? And that's why there's a conversation to have, because some people don't understand it. You know what I'm trying to say? If a man's physically abusing you and rare, if he's got money over you, if you can't do nothing, if he's put you in a position where you can't do nothing, someone could understand that. A person, who will never allow themselves to just be spoke to or thing in a certain way, can't understand when you're telling me someone's just talking to you. They haven't touched you, they haven't done anything, they're just talking to you. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, someone else can't understand that, because I wouldn't allow anybody to just talk to me like that. Go and deal with it. And if you don't, like, you have to, like, this is why I don't even get involved in these conversations, because it's nuanced. There's arguments on both sides, isn't it? Like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, you have to. Sorry, go on.
I hear you 100%. I feel like it's difficult to be able to empathize with something that you haven't been through, but that's where then you just understand why it is that why people have the opinions that they have. Do you get what I mean? Because I feel like the narrative about people should just leave, the narrative about, oh, you have to tick this box and tick that box, for me, I think it's a very dangerous narrative for to be in society. Because the thing is as well, like, regardless of whether you don't understand someone else's, like, not you, I mean, in general, people who don't understand it, why people don't go to police and go to social media and whatever. This is how I think about a lot of topics. There will be people in your life that you don't know who are in abusive situations or whatever. If they hear that your opinion of it is leave, why are you still staying there? That makes it difficult. If you were the person that they had the strength to come and confide in, they will not do that because they feel like they know how it is that you think. I feel like, yes, there's a lot of things that you will not understand because you haven't been in that situation or you can't relate or you haven't been exposed to it. And that's completely fair. That's all of us. That's human beings. However, it's still something to listen and try and understand the other side of it. I can understand why women do not go to the police, because I've seen women go to the police and I've seen them exposed on social media, and the person who is the abuser has gone on and carried on with life like nothing's happened. When a woman has to go to the police, when she has to come to social media, when she has to tell her close friends or whatever it is, every single time it is triggering for her to relive that and to keep having to imagine something being done to you. You have to prove to people that it was done to you because you don't have, because it was 2 months ago and I don't have any physical things to show you.
No, but it's
a dangerous topic.
You still got to keep trying though, man. If the sick don't care, the doctor can't care. This is what these people are here for. I'm saying it's not guaranteed that you're going to get results, but you have to go. This is what the police are there for.
I don't understand how people trust the police when it comes to victims speaking out. But on a normal day, you do not trust the police.
Yeah, for anything.
That's wild to me.
If you've got all these receipts, you're talking about all this stuff. This stuff's been going on for months. This person's done all this stuff to the point to where you want to vocalize it on social media. Yeah, you should have went to the proper channels to try and get this person
Marks,
stopped.
if somebody stabbed you, would you go to the police?
That's got nothing to do with it.
But it does.
Why not?
Because we're talking about the proper channels to do things,
Go for
right?
proper channels.
Well, so I'm just saying, if you
that's neither here nor there.
how is it
nothing to do
neither
with
here
it.
nor there?
Because for
we're
me
talking
personally,
about proper channels.
No. That's not proper
So would
channels.
you?
I
So
don't
what?
agree
You
with those.
say you'd handle it yourself, right? Let's be honest. You'd handle it yourself.
Yeah, but that's got.
Okay,
you
cool.
can't-
Wait.
you can't compare the
Before
two.
we get
You can't
there,
compare the two.
no. Wait. Before we get
Okay,
there,
go on.
someone stabbing someone. No. Someone stabbing someone.
You can't- I don't think you can compare the two.
Wait a minute.
No.
Someone
Alright,
stabbing someone is physical abuse. So if a woman got stabbed and she came to social media, on your approach of go for a proper channel, she shouldn't have gone to police first before she came on social media to tell you the guy stabbed her.
Yeah, should have went to the police. Yeah.
But you wouldn't go to the police.
I don't go to the police for
No,
nothing.
but it's exactly-
They don't count.
So
They
you
don't count.
guys don't trust the police.
On a
but you want
normal
everybody to
day,
you trust the police.
Why do you?
You're not hearing the irony in that.
I don't. You can ask me and find out why I don't trust the police. I wouldn't project that onto you lot. You lot should be working with the
But
police.
women don't trust
I
the
don't
police either,
I don't
though.
trust. I don't work
reasons.
with. I don't like police. Yeah, for good, valid reason. I'm
But
not
there
here
are
sitting around
women
on
being
something.
abused that don't like police.
Regardless,
They've seen what they've done.
my
Dismissed.
reasoning for disliking police has got nothing to do with abuse or nothing to do with that. They are totally separate. So I don't feel like you're saying that to me. It makes sense. It's a
But we're
good
talking
argument.
about how dependent they are, how reliable, the trustworthiness of them.
This
That's
is
what we're
it.
talking about.
If you don't trust them, how would you trust them?
And you don't
Yeah,
necessarily.
but why don't I trust them?
Yeah, but listen. Yeah, but Mark.
No, but ask me. Why don't I trust police?
All right,
Why don't you
I'll
not
ask
trust
you
police?
in a
Why
minute.
don't I
Hold
trust
on,
police?
wait. I'll ask you in a minute. You don't necessarily have to go experience something in order to see how something is going to go down the road, because you can see from other people's experience
Literally.
that, okay, these men don't take this seriously. However, it's just, I know you're saying like, you know, get up and leave. No one can talk to me like an Egypt, but it's just like a chicken that's been caged for 5 years, open that door and see if that chicken will leave. It won't, because it's a mind, like they break you down to the point where the man will open a door for you and you won't even leave because they make you so dependent on them. And it's
Literally.
not like all the times they're abusing you. They'll abuse you yesterday
And
then
you
this
today.
morning they'll come with you and buy you a car. And then they'll abuse it. That's why I said it's a mind game.
You think what you allow. I'm a tough love kind of babe. You put yourself in them situations. The guys that are manipulators, they're taking the piss in it, and they're good at what they do, and they whatever. But I don't understand. If the door's open, you don't want to walk out. I don't care what he done to you before. I'm telling you, walk out the yard.
It's a agree to disagree situation.
The thing is, obviously it's very different, But like, if you was at work, because my thing is this, right? Knife crime and all that type of stuff. A lot of the times, people are kind of, without saying it in a particular way, people sign up to a particular type of life, innit? That's different, I think, to regular civilians, right? Yes, the system is broken, but there are proper channels. Even if they don't help you, I feel like you should at least do that first, so you can at least say, I've done that particular thing.
To say it, not necessarily.
The party girls,
to say it.
I think the party girl's the perfect example. She's way more credible.
Is it just to say it?
It's not just to say it. The hope is you get the help you need. But in those situations where you don't, at least you did the right thing and you did those. If, for example, something happened at work, are you just going to say, you know what, this person's abusive to me, I'm going to go on social media? No, you're going to document the emails, you're going to go to HR. Even if you believe your company's racist, you're still going to go through the proper channels. You're going to tell a manager, you're going to go to HR. In the similar type of way, I think there's certain things you have to do so you can get the best results for yourself. Even if it doesn't work out for you, you can at least say, I did this. Do you get where I'm coming from?
So we can hold the other people accountable. On this day, he done this. I reported it here. I sold this. He done this to me. I went and I told them here. If nothing else happened, that's fine. But then at least now we can hold their feet to the fire. You know what I'm trying to say?
So are you saying that people that go to the police, so you said people that go to the police, it makes them more credible?
I'm not saying like that, but I'm saying if you've came out onto social media and you're saying stuff about somebody and they've been doing all this stuff for all this time, me personally, in my opinion, if you got police references, you're definitely more credible, because if you don't have any receipts, I have to take into consideration what you're telling me. That then there's two sides.
There's always two sides, regardless of whether you go to the police or not. There's always two sides. But what I'm also saying is that
there's always two sides. But if your side was strong enough that you went to the police, then go off. Like, you went to the police. Okay,
so women that lie about rape and stuff and they go to the police, are they automatically more credible?
What do you mean lying? How can you be credible about lying?
That's what I'm saying. You don't know it's a lie until it's come out that it's a lie. But when they go to the police, then automatically you're just like, do you know what? She's gone to the Fed, so it might be true.
So because women cry wolf and do fake rape, people that really be abused shouldn't go to the police?
No, I'm not saying that, but because you said it makes them more credible, I don't necessarily think it makes them more credible because they go to the police or because they go to social media.
People that are lying. They can't be credible, whether they go to the police
or
whether they're not.
But you don't know that. There are men
we're speaking to the people that are actually going through stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, this is what we're speaking to. We're not doing hypotheticals about people that's lying. We're talking to the people that are actually going through stuff, yeah? If I see a total stranger, tomorrow, go on social media, and tell me something about someone, who might be perceived to be in good character or whatever that I don't know, and they're just talking stuff, I don't know what this is. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, I have to make the sense from the nonsense. I have to boom, 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 boom. Yeah. As a human being, I am gonna ask, when he done this to you, why didn't you tell nobody? Why didn't this happen? Why didn't that happen? You can give me whatever reasons you want. Yeah. Initially, when you're laying out your information for me, if you can tell me this happened on the 12th of July, I reported it to the police. Yeah. I told them this, that.
Yeah.
6 months later, this happened. I went to the police. I made another report. I've gone here, there. That evidence that you're building up here is way more credible to me than just talking. Okay? That's it. I don't know. Remember, it's just total strangers we're dealing with here. I don't know, innit? So I've got a partial opinion. So it's about the information that you're giving me, innit? So it would be, for me, and just my opinion, for me, it would be, when you're helping me digest the information, it would be more credible. I'll take your gripes more seriously because you had such an issue with them. You went and you reported to them. And if nothing happened that you reported it, now I have to turn my guys to the people who had the duty of care to look after you and that didn't do it, innit? Do you know what I'm trying to say? But if you're just saying stuff, you're just saying stuff.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but at the same time, it's not that easy. Like, this is God forbid. Like, let's just say like your daughter came to you and said, "Dad, this and this and this happened, but I don't want to go to the feds." It doesn't mean it's not true.
Yeah, but I don't understand. It doesn't mean it's not true. You're an idiot. Why don't you want to go to the feds? Why don't you want to go to the feds? Because they're having a different conversation. Now, anything happens to you moving forward, good on you, man. What are you talking about? Are you an idiot or something?
Yeah, but you know. Well, I hear what you're saying, but as I said, it's unfortunately, it's not that easy. It's easier said than done when you're looking on the outside. That's just like when you're in a relationship or when you're not in a relationship, you say, I'll never have that from her or I'll never have that from him. And you're in a relationship, you find yourself in that situation and you're having it.
Yeah, it's true.
It's different when you're in that situation.
And a lot of negative stuff and what people don't want to talk about. It don't always have to manifest as physical abuse or whatever.
That's
but
true.
a lot of the negative stuff that happens in relationships, people allow it. That's it. People allow it. You don't allow this stuff. That's it.
We've got a call.
I hear that.
Hello.
Good morning, beautiful.
How are you, caller?
Hi, this is Emily.
We know.
Hello, Emily. How are you?
What do you mean, you know? I'm good. How are you?
All good, thank you. All good.
Talk to us.
I'm fascinated by the conversation that you're having on abuse and abuses and why people don't just walk out there. And how complicated that is. I think what is being missed in the conversation is how complex the psychology of an abuser and a victim is. That's the crux of the conversation, really. It's not so much about what these can and cannot do. It's how does one person end up in this situation and find themselves unable to maneuver out. Once you have an understanding of that, then I think it's easy enough to have the rest of the conversation. That really is what it is. I also take the points that Margs is trying to make, but I can see why he's coming from that perspective. It's because he hasn't, been given the opportunity to consider what a victim is experiencing. Once a person is a victim, it really is, as the girls are trying to say, really complex. It's not like this person is necessarily being hostile to you 24/7, which it can be, obviously, but it's a mixture of love, what you perceive to be love, being taken care of, and then every now and then that's yanked away or it's misrepresented, or any number of things can happen in that situation. And the person to whom this is being done already is, quote unquote, broken. There is something there that doesn't quite work with them. So they don't understand, or they don't quite have what it is that they need to realize what is going on, or if they do realize, to remove themselves from that situation. So yes, you can say just walk out the yard, but it's not going to be that straightforward until you understand why it is that they can't just walk out the yard.
So Emily,
and I think
sorry, go on.
Yeah. No, go ahead. I was going to say I think Esther has quite a lot of insight into situations like that, given that she's worked with victims of abuse before, and maybe she could give more insight or even live examples, if she could, of what she's seen. But sorry, go ahead with your question.
No, what I was going to say is, obviously I don't want to speak for Mark. Mark is here, he can obviously speak for himself, right?
Yes, of course.
But I don't necessarily think Mark's necessarily talking about the extreme situations where people are kind of just finished mentally. You know what I'm saying? Where they don't even know what to do, right? But also what I was going to say is you have to remember where the conversation started. It was more so about people going on social media as opposed to something else. So my question, I mean, Esther answered it for me, but I would love to hear your take on that. Why is it that somebody would feel more comfortable going into social media, talking about this particular thing that's private to them, that's difficult to talk about to anybody in your personal life or whatever it may be, as opposed to going to the police or, like I just said, like speaking to like your friend or family member? Why is social media going to be better? And do you feel like there should be better channels, a better way to do this?
Are we talking about the Kimura situation or just a female or male who's experiencing emotional abuse?
Yeah. Just a female or male experiencing.
So just an ordinary everyday person experiencing abuse. Why would you go onto social media and talk about it? I think I'm with you on this one, Iman, because if I haven't got the gumption or the emotional robustness to discuss this with my nearest and dearest, then I don't see how I would be able to put it on social media, one, or why I would. However, having said that, there is a sort of fourth wall between real life and what happens on social media. We present differently on social media. You can disconnect in a way from your real person when you're on social media. So I think I can understand how, in spite of the depth of anguish I might be experiencing in my real life, I might find it okay to go onto social media and just say what I need to say, because you immediately disconnect. once you've done it or after you've done it, you have the option to immediately disconnect. You don't necessarily need to engage with the feedback. You've said what you have to say, and it's it's gone. You've done it, and it's out there. So it's no longer your secret. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you can literally just switch devices off and go away for a bit. You don't have to deal with it. And yet, if I have to sit down with you, a man, and try and break this down to you, I don't necessarily know how you're going to react. You might just say to me, walk out the yard, Emily. And then I don't know how to deal with that in that particular moment. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. There's a lot to contend if I'm doing it face to face with another person. Or worse still, if I'm going to a stranger like the police in a sterile environment, it is the police. There is a perception of the power they have over me. It might be my absolute last resort. And here I am hoping that you can use every means at your disposal to help me. And you're questioning me. I've come to you for solace. And now I have to break it all down. And it might be that while this with you, you stranger, this powerful stranger, you reject what I've brought to you. What have I got left there? Absolutely nothing. Do you know what I mean? So I think that there really are so many moving parts in this conversation, and it's probably difficult to come to an absolute conclusion or agreement on what is or what isn't. But I think keeping an open mind and trying to appreciate the complexity and the really tight nuances in the conversation makes it a bit more of a conversation that can, be had openly. And with some help.
100%. Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Emily.
Thanks, Emily.
My pleasure. Take care, guys. And I'm enjoying the show. Thank you so much. Good work.
Thanks. I think me personally, like my stance, if you guys remember, I've always tried to come from the stance of what if they're lying? Because we can't just have our own, say your opinion, and then that person just guilty, just like that. You know what I'm saying? Somebody wrote into the show actually schooled me on their experience. Okay. So I've definitely taken it on board. So I'm a bit more reluctant to push with that idea, right? But every now and again, there is something that makes me think that. Like, for example, we spoke about this on the show with this particular white girl who lied, who beat herself and accused this Asian guy and this other Asian guy. Everything was just concocted in her bedroom. Just made it up. Went to social media, went to all types of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's like people are always going to feel like, you know what? You have to at least go down the proper channels. Even if they don't believe you, at least you've done the you know what I mean? You've ticked certain things off, and we can at least reprimand those people who didn't even assist you, who should have, and also the animal that was doing the abusing. You know what I'm saying?
Is it that? So if I go to the police once and I report that and they don't do anything, are you telling me I should keep going back? Is one not? If I say to you, I've documented it, I went on this day. If I give you a report, one crime report, whatever, is that enough for you?
Me
or does it have to be a catalogue of 10?
Me personally, one's enough.
What about you, Marks? Does it have to be like every time it's happened, go there and make sure you're building a case type of thing?
No, because that would be probably the best for you. Yeah. But if you went there once and you just felt like, and you just felt like they didn't do nothing. And it's not going to do nothing and whatnot, then I can understand why you wouldn't have gone back. Okay. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, I can't knock you for that. I'm just saying, do something. You're
saying if you're gonna do one, do like do
I'm not
both,
on a victim blaming thing. You get me?
Yeah,
I have a sister, I have a mother, and I have the same attitude towards any of them. If somebody's doing you something, do something. Yeah. You get what I'm trying to say?
But Mark,
I'm sorry. That's just how I think.
Do something, at least they can call you though.
Yeah, call me. Call the police. Do something.
Don't have people like that.
Whatever. Yes, that's why these people don't go sleep. Not enough men are getting stabbed in their sleep. Rude girl. You get what I'm trying to say? Like if you want to, I understand. People can get into your head physically, can do things, and if you want to allow that, or if you're gonna allow that, then alright, cool.
It's not about but you know, it's not an allowing thing. Though,
no, I know it's not. I know it's not, and it's not as easy as said and done. But if you want to stop it, if you really want to think like, if someone's really, like I'm saying, it don't have to be whatever the proper procedures. It don't even have to be legal procedures. I'm not telling you not to do legal procedures by any means. Do anything you want. But if you stop it, you get what I'm trying to say. And if you're not going to stop it, then what do you want me to do?
At the end of the day, it's tough, man. And I think everyone can kind of agree that the system we have isn't perfect system. It's very flawed, in fact. You know what I'm saying? But we just have to try and, I don't know, man, get the best results some way.
Can I ask why you don't go to the police?
Well, I don't go to the police. Why would the police go do for me?
No, you said, ask me. So I'm asking you why.
I don't go to the police. There's no reason for me to go to the police. I go to the police if my car was stolen or something. My car was stolen.
So hold on, you said that like you had a really good justification, or a really good reason as to why you don't go to police. Why don't you go?
I don't go. I've never gone to the police. Ask me why I don't like the police. I can tell you why I don't like the police. The police don't do nothing for me. The police don't. The police, the system, the way the system's set up, does not work for me.
Because for me, like.
The system, the way the system's set up, it doesn't work for me.
For me, yeah. Let's just say I've been a criminal for 10 years. Mm-hmm. If for whatever day I go to the police station, I'm stabbed up, you have a duty to investigate and whether or not.
No, they don't.
Yes, they.
No, they don't. I've been shot and stabbed. Why they investigate it?
But this is my issue, though. But this is what you're saying is exactly my issue. The police have a duty of care, regardless of, even if that's why there are terrorists being protected whilst walking through the street. Really and truly, the police should leave them, because you just murdered a whole church. But they're there being guarded and protected because that is their duty, regardless of whatever you've done. They have a duty to protect you.
They're not protect us. It's not protect me.
But this is what I'm saying. I just feel like they don't do their job. So I can understand why.
Sorry, caller. One second, caller.
Sorry, no. So I can understand why people don't trust them. And if they're not taking care of even just normal civilians, why should I go there and believe that it's going to be different for me?
Yeah, but
I understand. I do understand that you're saying if you're going to go social media, go to the police too. I understand that one. I can't lie. But don't go to the police with the expectation that, they're going to go jail, because then you're going down the wrong road. But yeah.
Yeah, no, police ain't never helped me. Yeah, I've been in my hospital bed and police don't want to help me. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, they've let me know that they could do whatever they want to do, but they don't. You know what I'm trying to say? That so they don't care. So I don't look at police like that. I don't have no relationship with police. I don't understand why anybody would. But my brother got shot dead in 2001. No one's ever even been arrested for it. You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah. That's common knowledge. What happened there and all that kind of stuff like that. So I know that police ain't for me. You lot could do whatever you lot want, but police ain't for me. Me and my family, the police don't. They're not here for us. We don't deal with them.
God forbid. So if something ever happened with your sister, would you advise your sister go to the police and then you have it in your head? Okay, go to police. The police will do something. Would you have that in your head?
Well, if a man troubled her.
Yeah.
No, I'll just go mash him up.
So you wouldn't advise her to go to the police?
I wouldn't need to advise her. She don't need to take no advice. If I privy to the information that a man done something, we don't need to have another conversation. I'm gonna go and take it to my own hands and go and mash him up.
Okay. But unfortunately, a lot of women don't have big brothers like you.
Yeah, but she might not even want me to do that.
Whether or not she's coming. Let me tell you something. Yeah, if I go and tell my husband something, I know
she might not tell me. What if I found out?
What if she never told me? What if I just found out? But I'm just saying, if she's come to tell you, Marks, she knows you're not going to sit down and not do nothing.
Okay.
Yeah. So even regardless of whether she wants you to or not, if she's told you, there's some things I'm just not going to say.
She couldn't keep coming to me moaning about what he's doing and still staying with him. Because eventually I don't want to have that conversation anymore. I'm not even going to mash him up. I'll leave you. Whatever you're going to do, you do what you're doing. I don't give a shit. Do you get what I'm trying to say? You can't keep coming talking shit to me about this brother and you're staying with him. So are you crazy?
So where you wouldn't advise her to go to the police, if she did go on social media and say something, what would you like? Would you be upset with her for doing that?
Yeah, just say you're just being an idiot. Because I don't understand what you're doing here. What are you doing here?
Maybe that's her way of venting. That's her way of of just expressing herself. And like some people just do it to vent and just express themselves and try and get things off their chest.
You just want to make a scene. You're still going to stay with your man. You didn't want to get him down, gone. You didn't want to get the police to deal with him, or you didn't want us to go and mash him up. But you're just making a scene. It's foolishness. Whatever you're doing is foolishness. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. So caller. Good morning.
Morning.
Sorry
it's Stacey. Good morning. No, you're okay. I just had two quick things. First and foremost, I want to talk about this back and forth about I don't understand how someone can go to social media but not go to the police. And while that seems logical, even though really and truly I'm not sure how everyone thinks this is a conversation of logic, because it really is not. It's not up to you to decide or understand what the victim aims to achieve and how they decide to go about handling it and why they chose to go that route. In this specific instance with Kimora and her kids and Russell, whatever, if they're not aiming to get this man criminally charged for his abuse And again, this is their dad. Maybe they don't want to see their dad go to jail, but they want to highlight, listen, I need you to take accountability for the fact that you are very wrong here. Y'all just said it. Like, he's somebody who's very concerned about his image. His image is extremely important to him. Threats to his image is what he takes seriously. So the what do you call it? What do they call when social media is like the court? Like, the public opinion could very well make him understand that. So if that's what she's aiming to achieve in this instance, as the victim, that's her choice. That is what makes sense for what goal she had in mind and her method of handling it. If her aim was to get him criminally charged, obviously it makes sense to go the police route, but that's her choice. We cannot determine what's the best for their situation. So logic, if you're speaking from a point of logic, I get it, but if that's not what you aim to get, different story. So I just thought that was important to highlight. Okay. Also, this thing about what do you call it? It's logic. It makes more sense for you to report it to the police. Again, this not being a conversation of logic. If you go to the police, but you're not ready to leave the man, does it make sense?
Say that again, sorry. If you're going to go to the police, you're not going to leave the man.
You're going to report it to the police and have no intention to leave this man. What was the point?
You can't be. Why would you go to the police if you've got no intention of leaving him? If you don't want to leave him, why are you moaning about the abuse for?
That's the point. And that's exactly what we're trying to say here. Like, if they're
that's
not ready
argument.
to criminally charge
what is that? So you're saying
yes, it is.
So you're saying wait there. So you're saying because they still want to be with it. They're idiots then. That's more foolishness. And what are you trying to say? Because
sometimes depending on the choice. That's not your choice to make.
If anybody, you know, I'm not a victim blamer, but if this is the stuff that you don't want to go through in your spare time, go through it, man. Go off, man. I ain't bothering no gal. I ain't touching no gal.
You don't. But you also don't know. You also don't know there could be very logical reasons why somebody would want to stay with said person that we cannot understand because they're not in that position. If they have children and that person is financially providing for them, I don't want to deal with the abuse. It's quite literally illegal, but you have other factors to think about. I don't want to leave them.
So Stacey,
but they're abusing me.
I get you, yeah. But like, what's the point of that particular person speaking out? Are you saying
that's what I'm trying to say?
Okay,
you're encouraging them to, but if they're not ready to leave, what is the point of going about this documentation?
No, it's not about
if they document it.
No, all I was going to say
and the police say, and the police say, okay, this abuse needs to be taken seriously. We're going to investigate. In the meantime, get a restraining order. And that person tries to retaliate. What's your advice then?
Yeah, but
they went through the proper channels.
No, but Stacey, it's not about telling people to report their abuse if they want to stay. It's more so if you want a change to your life, you're reporting it because this isn't good for you. And if you want to change for your life, this is why you would report. You go to the police, or for those people who feel like they can't go to police and prefer social media, they go to social media. But you're not going to go to social media, tell the entire world about your partner, and go back home to him. Surely he will beat you more or abuse you more. Everything.
Okay, so let me be clear.
Yeah.
This segment of what I'm talking about is not the going to the police versus going to social media thing. This is me responding to the fact that this idea of projecting that it's almost like if you don't go to the police, I'm frowning at you versus maybe not frowning at the abuser, but I'm frowning at you. I don't think that's a positive message to project because this is not, again, a situation of logic. It's not.
I don't think anyone.
Sometimes I think that what was being projected, and apologies if I'm wrong, but what was being projected is if you're not, going to the police and going through the proper channels, are you using your head? Like, be so for real. Like, go through the proper channels or else basically, damn, you're asking for it. But it's like, no, there's a lot of complex reasons why, and it's on a case-by-case basis, why somebody would not do that. And the odds of that being the case, somebody having several reasons why going to police may not be the appropriate solution for them, is a lot more likely. And we see that a lot more times. That does not mean you shouldn't encourage someone to go to the proper channels. Yes, you should, but think about the tone in which you're spreading that message. Obviously, go to the proper channels, but I feel like this will be digested a lot more if you said, I'm going to suggest you go to the proper channels, go to the police. However, if that's not something that you're ready for yet, there are other ways to support someone while they're in an abusive situation until they are ready to leave, until they found a way that best fits their situation to leave, etc., etc. That's how you have that conversation while it doesn't give the tone of.
I think that was in relation to.
Go ahead.
I think that was in relation to if you're going to go on social media, then go to the police and go through proper channels. Not that I think it was in relation to that.
Yeah, it wasn't what you're saying. But if obviously other people perceived it in that way, then 100% they should do exactly what you just said. You know what I'm saying? But for those who would kind of opt to go to social media, that's why we were saying you need to go through the proper channels. You can't just go to social media first. Or not you can't, but why would you? And how are you able to do so? It's just us questioning the.
But that's kind of what I just. That's kind of what I just explained. It really just depends on what that person's end goal is. For Kimura's kids, they feel like that public highlight is going to bring their dad to reflect and hold himself accountable. For the everyday person, they don't really have that leverage. Like it's an everyday person. What is social media going to do for real? Except maybe a couple people pressing them about it. Obviously, you might suggest the criminal charge route. But for them, that wasn't their goal.
Yeah, no, I understand that one. It does depend on your goal, on your end goal. Do you want this person to go jail? Then cool, go police or whatever. If you don't, and you just want to expose them for what they've done, then that's different. So yeah.
But you want to expose them and stay with them?
No, not necessarily stay with them. You don't necessarily have to stay with them.
Sure,
but even if you don't want to stay with them, I don't necessarily want to get you arrested. So I can understand why you won't take that route. But you may take social media. I can understand.
And somebody might say, you know what, I want to stay with them, but I want you to fix your shit. Like I want you to understand this is wrong and grow from it and change. And maybe this situation might work should you change. And maybe highlighting that would get the right people's attention to where they can face you. And you might not listen to me, but if it comes from someone else, you might, I can't speak on what other people's goals are, but I think you should consider it.
I hear you. Obviously, I don't want us to keep going on and stuff like that. But if it was a situation where somebody wanted that type of result, where it's like, look, my partner is abusing me, and I want you to be a good partner because I believe in you. You was once a good man or a good woman, this, that, and the third. I really struggle to see how social media can be the catalyst that can make that happen. Like, wouldn't you maybe suggest? And I'm not saying that you're not suggesting anything else, right? But would you not maybe suggest? I don't know, like a charity or something else? Because surely, if you tell the world about this partner of yours who's been abusing you, I really don't see how he fixes up and stays with you in your house. Like, surely you've ruined any possibility of you two staying together if you wanted him to be your forever partner. Surely. You finished him. Like,
honestly,
job,
you never know.
Reputation, everything's out of the window.
Yeah, this is true, but never say never. But also, before I did, because I have been here a hot second. What do you call it? Oh, damn, did I lose it? I lost it. Damn it. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say, y'all.
Right,
just be more considerate of, other people's, what they got going on. That's it.
100%.
Thank you.
Thank you very much,
Thank
Stacey.
you.
All right, I think we should definitely move on.
Yeah.
I think that was Word on Road, right?
Sure was. Let's get to the channel. Sure was.
All right, I'm going to be quick with this one. Welcome to People's Journal, where I give you the news from an economics point of view. Breaking news: grocery inflation eases to its slowest monthly rate this year. So again, this is making people believe that we're kind of on track and that the worst may be over. So hopefully this is a great thing in it for us long term and not just something that's just happened this month. But Kantar World Panel, they basically track supermarket sales and prices and stuff. They reported a rate of 16.5% over the 4 weeks to the 11th of June. This was down from 17.2%, right? Which is, I believe we spoke about this a month ago. So this is the third month in a row that the rate of price growth in this particular sector has softened. So again, good news, man. In addition to that, also Morrisons and Marks and Spencers have become the latest supermarkets to kind of cut the price of the basics, the economy products and stuff, to help people who are struggling with the cost of living crisis and stuff like this. So it's good for them to jump on. I know a lot of people would just say, yeah, but their profits are high anyway, this and the third. At least they're doing something, you know what I'm saying? And people who are struggling with this can at least buy the goods that they need for themselves and their families and whatnot. They're looking to cut the price of certain things like minced beef, tomatoes, Greek yogurt, all those things that people kind of, I guess, need and whatnot. It's come out, I may leave this for tomorrow, but what I will just say briefly is that figures were shared on BBC, right? And they said that how the average UK tenant now spends more than 28% of their pay before tax on rent. This is crazy. This is crazy. You know what I'm saying? So this means that people are spending more of their wages on rent than at any other time in the past 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? This is, yeah, man. Average rents for for new lets have also risen as well, jumping up 10.4% in a year, making it harder to obviously afford, for people to afford places and stuff like this. So yeah, man, it's really difficult, man. I know people may just start talking about how private landlords are just bumping up their prices and things of that nature. But I would kind of implore people to kind of look at the deeper reasons. You know what I'm saying? The government has not been handling certain things properly, man. And I think all of this type of stuff, again, causes these problems. Also, Amazon and a couple other large companies around the world, Hilton Hotels, Adecco, Microsoft even, are amongst firms that are promising to hire Ukrainians and other refugees in Europe. You know what I'm saying? As part of a wider drive to kind of help people who are fleeing persecution and stuff like this. They've committed Amazon, Hilton, and Marriott have committed to hire 13,680 Ukrainians and other refugees for their workforce over the next 3 years. In addition to this, staffing agencies like Adecco, they're going to be helping people find work as well. A number that they've pledged 150,000. So again, this is good, man. Hopefully this actually amounts to something. At the moment, I believe it's like just under 6 million refugees from Ukraine are spread out throughout Europe. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? 5.something million. So yeah. Also, just wanted to remind people that people on disabilities, and I believe it's more than 6 million people, are going to begin receiving their one-off cost of a living payment of £150. I spoke about this earlier, maybe a couple of months ago. People receiving certain pay packets to kind of help with the cost of living and crisis and stuff like this. Those on disability allowance should start receiving it from today, basically. Just in case you know somebody who is entitled, if they don't receive their payments between today, the 20th of June, and the 4th of July, get them to speak to the DWP and look into it. And this is basically for people on disability living allowance, personal independence payments, attendance allowance, and Scottish disability benefits, people on armed forces, independent payments, war pension, mobility supplements, all them people who are kind of entitled to those type of benefits. Please, guys, make sure that they're getting their £150 that they are entitled to. And the very last thing I wanted to mention briefly is a thing I've been mentioning for the past couple of weeks, I believe, and this is about the scheme organised by Channel 4 and Lloyds Bank, which is basically giving 5 black businesses the opportunity to receive £100,000 in TV advertisements, and also a TV advert will be put out on their behalf as well. So you just have to apply, type in Black in Business, or go to Channel 4, the whole page speaking about it. You can find more information on The Voice as well. But the application's closed. According to The Voice, it's Monday, 26th of June. Channel 4, I believe they've updated the actual date. They extended it to Wednesday, the 28th of June. I wouldn't leave it to the Wednesday, innit? Try and get it done by the Monday. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the People's Journal.
All right, let's get into our last headlines for today.
Okay, trigger warning here. Very sad news. There's a murder where an entire family was found dead. So, yeah, it's very horrible. Police are treating the death of a woman found dead alongside her partner and 2 children as murder, obviously. I may butcher the name, pardon me. Monica Vlodyacic, who's 35. She died from multiple sharp force wounds. This is what, according to the Met Police. She was found dead at her flat in West London alongside her husband, Mikhail, her 2 children, Maya and David. Officers are not looking for anybody else in connection with the deaths, which is crazy. But yeah, the Met said that the husband died from neck wounds. The force added that it was not able to provide further details as circumstances of his death or anybody else's death at this stage. The children's post-mortem examinations are due to take place tomorrow at Great Ormond Street Hospital. In a statement, the Met said they called the school of the kids, Maya School, on the 16th of June. I said that since they and her friends were concerned that she had not attended school since the 12th of June and family members had not replied to messages. Obviously, the school was concerned about everything and hadn't been released to the public. And so, yeah, they let them know, man. It's very sad news. Families next of kin have been informed and are being supported by family liaison officers. Next headline, again, another trigger warning here. A teenage boy dies, he's been murdered. Police have launched a murder investigation after a boy was stabbed to death in London. The teenager is believed to be 17 and he was found with a stab wound in Paddington at around 1:41 p.m. yesterday on Monday. Emergency services, including an air ambulance, were sent to the scene, but despite the efforts of the paramedics, he was pronounced dead at 2:15 p.m. Spokesperson said that his next of kin had been informed and no arrests have been made. In addition to that, in a separate incident, police said that a man believed to be in his 20s was stabbed in Kilburn High Road. Officers were called at around 4:20, and the London Ambulance Service and the London's Air Ambulance also attended. The victim was taken to hospital for treatment, but of course, well, let me not say of course, but so far no arrests have been made. And the last headline is Idris Elba. He's basically come out. Do you know where Idris Elba's from? Country, yeah.
Sierra Leone, you know?
Yeah, well, I didn't know that. Is he half? He's half Sierra Leone, something else, right?
Half Ghanaian. I thought it was half Idris Elba. I thought it was half Ghanaian, half
Sierra Leone. Okay. Well, he has, like you rightly said, he has Sierra Leonean citizenship and heritage, and he's called for a peaceful general election in Sierra Leone, which will be taking place on Saturday. He said in a message that this election, please let it be peaceful. He said that to the people. He reminded young people that they have the power in this vote, and that if the country is destroyed due to violence, it will be down to Sierra Leoneans to have to patch it back up again. Not only is the world watching, he said, but the entire Africa is watching. Saturday's vote will be the country's 6th presidential vote since the military takeover in 1992. It will see the incumbent president, Julius Maada Bio, of the Sierra Leonean People's Party, the SLPP, go up against Dr. Samura Kamara of the APC, the All People's Congress. There have been arrests of critical opposition voices in the run-up to the vote. But Elba's comments came on the same day that the Commonwealth Observer Group in Sierra Leone, led by the former Vice President, Yemi Osinbajo, and they basically called for peaceful elections that will reflect the will of the people. He also said the eyes of more than 2.5 billion people of the Commonwealth, more than 60% of whom are young people under the age of 30, will be upon Sierra Leone, watching in solidarity and in hope. So yeah, man, hopefully Sierra Leoneans, they have a peaceful election starting on Saturday. Wish them the best, man. Hopefully they choose the best person for their future. And that's it for the headlines.
Right, let's get into the reaction.
Let's get into some sports news for the day.
Lighten up the mood.
Well, oh shit. Well, we had our European qualifiers last night. I'm not gonna read off all the results because we don't care. But how do you feel about 7-0 England?
Well done, man.
Are you excited about that?
Saka got a hat-trick, innit?
Yeah.
Who did they play though? Because 7-0 is great when you're playing if you're playing a team that plays cricket usually.
They played North Macedonia.
Oh, okay, so this makes sense.
That's what I thought. But to be honest with you, I didn't even get to watch it because I was busy. But
The Trent and Saka link-up was nice.
I see one of the goals. I see a pass from Trent to Saka to the crazy finish, crazy pass. It looked good. I heard the game didn't really change until Rashford came on though. I don't know.
Is it?
I don't know. That's what I see someone say. Is that true?
Was Rashford playing
I heard he came on.
at the end?
I don't know. I saw a quote from a respected publication.
Maybe I was tongue-in-cheek.
They said it was tongue in cheek.
Maybe.
Did you watch the whole game?
No, I didn't.
Oh, you didn't?
No, I didn't. That's why I said, was it in the end? Because I watched from the second half onwards. Well, the end of the first half onwards.
What, you never saw Rashford get on the pitch?
I didn't see Rashford. I didn't say he wasn't playing. I just didn't see him. So maybe the game was already won.
Full of shit. Full of shit. Yeah, but they done that. Again, we're not going to make a big deal out of it because it was North Macedonia, but big up the boys, man. Big up the boys. In some avenues, Man City defender prefers to stay at Etihad this summer despite buying interest. So I think he's looking to stay at... That would have been a game changer, you know. A lot of you don't understand football. I'm trying to tell people, yeah, I think Kyle Walker's probably one of the most important signings Pep's made, like, ever. You get me? Shit didn't get right until Walker got there. And he's so important to that team. Like, they just got a cheat code. Like, they just got a cheat code. It don't matter who they play in the world. You just put Kyle Walker on their best player and say, tell Kyle, handle that. Then it's 10 versus 10. You get me, like, and they can bop anyone. So that's important. I was happy that I thought he was going to be going. But, yeah, maybe he's not. So more dominance to City. In some transfer news, let's see how you Arsenal boys are feeling about this. You put in a 30 million bid for Jenin Timber. What's that? Good news, yeah?
Good news, man.
You like Timber?
I like him. To be honest, he could play quite a few different positions, isn't it?
He could play right
He really
back,
suffered when it is that
centre
we lost Saliba, so I like the fact that he's addressing it.
Okay.
Our right back is not supposed to be a right back. He's supposed to be a centre back.
That's true.
So, yeah, man.
All right, cool. And then you are confident of getting Havertz.
Sorry, do you like him?
Who, Timber?
Yeah.
I think Timber's decent. We've been linked with him since
why I asked the
Eric
question.
Ten Hag's come there.
You guys were in for him, right?
Well, we ain't put in a bid, but we've been linked with him. But
Last year.
Ten Hag's going to be linked with anyone decent in
Yeah.
Eredivisie. That's neither here nor there. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
And he's Ten Hag's killie as well. And Ten Hag took Martinez first.
This is it.
So that must be he must be the proper one.
Yeah.
You get me? So yeah.
Must be.
You're going to take plan B. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Saying that you are confident again, Havertz wrapped up. It's looking like 60, 65 million. All personal terms I agreed. I believe a 5-year deal's been agreed. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I don't know. I don't know.
That's what the reports are saying. That's what we're saying. They've agreed a 5-year deal. They've agreed wages. They just got to get it over the line with Chelsea, and the deal's looking pretty imminent. Everybody's confident of getting it wrapped up this week. It's looking between 60 and 65 million. What do you think about that?
Yeah. Like I said, I'm up to seeing this excellence that everybody's talking about. I'm up to seeing it. I'm up for it, mate. And especially if it is that Arteta says this is what his plan is, then I'm looking forward to seeing the plan unfold.
You rate him? You rate Havertz?
I told you I didn't see much of him, but
Yeah.
I hear he's technically excellent.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, Chelsea are willing to sell the 23. Oh, no, that's the same. Why are you adding that? There's definitely going. Let's see what's happening here. West Ham captain Declan Rice is a primary target for Mikel Arteta. I don't think he's got goal 120. I don't understand. What did he lot bid? 90 with 10 on add-ons. One of the add-ons is in if you win the Champions
first
League
step?
and all that. Yeah.
I think it was 80 something. I don't know.
With 10 in add-ons, one of the add-ons is like if you win the Champions League and all that.
I
That's
don't know
a joke.
where you heard that from, but
No, trust me.
I should trust you.
No, I'm telling you. One of the add-ons is the 10 million, winning the league, winning the Champions League, bare stuff that you definitely know you're not going to do.
Yeah, got no business putting on a contract.
Bare stuff you ain't got no business putting there. That's why West Ham refused it, because West Ham know that they want 120. Arsenal ain't paying 120. So I don't know. Probably Declan Rice is out the window. Didn't even get Casado. So you're not going to try and spend that money. You are on some bargain hunting. You get me? You might try to do the Gundogan thing. He ain't officially signed and stayed on with City, has he? It's not official or nothing, innit?
No, I also hear that Barcelona in for him now. I hear that Barcelona also looking to snatch him.
In K Godaigan. Well, yeah. You don't need to. I think you don't need him. I think you don't need him. I think he'll be the best one for you actually.
Gundogan? How old is he?
31, 32?
Sorry, can't be the. Sorry, no.
No?
No, I would love him as another squad player. He'd probably start, obviously. But 32? Nah.
Experience, leadership.
I hear that.
It's what you need. It's what you need. There's some news here. Afcon qualifiers.
African nations.
Where are we in? June. Is Afcon next month? I mean next year?
I think so.
What would that be? 2024? January, innit? Is it Afcon, yeah?
I think so. Not too sure.
We've got to keep an eye on that, man. We need to make sure we don't sign any African players. No, trust me. Don't want them when they're going in
Going to African nations.
in January, in the thick of things and that. No. You don't want that. You don't want that. So, I can use... Is this just about one game? So, let's tell you some stuff that happened in the Afcons nations. I'll just take it in these results. Obviously, I know you don't care. So, Kelechi Iheanacho scored a 95th minute winner as Nigeria survived the scare to beat Sierra Leone 3-2 and secure qualifications for the African Nations Cup. No horns, Esther? No? Okay. But yeah, Nigeria done it. I'll make some noise for Esther. Woo.
Come on, Nigeria.
Come on, Nigeria.
First of all, actually, that's a point. Because Brent, you're over there all the time appropriating my language, and you can't do a horn. Did your country even
What's
qualify?
happened with Nigeria? What happened with Nigeria?
Them out. Did you qualify for the Caribbean Cup of Nations? Thank you, Rahman.
Well, Aubameyang's international return didn't go to plan because Gabon lost 2-0 to the Democratic Republic of Congo. Yeah. Yeah, Aubameyang's... Ghana missed out on qualifying. With a game to spare as they were held 0-0 by Madagascar. Sad for that. Unlucky Gina, man. Unlucky Gina. Eman. Sorry, Eman. I forgot. Ghanaian by proxy. 2 points separate the group leaders, Angola in second, and in third place, Central Africa Republic, whom they are on. Wait, who's gone through then? 2 points separate the group leaders from Angola in second and third place, Central Africa. So who? Ghana missed out. Madagascar. How many people in these groups? 5.
4.
Is this 2 separate things that I'm reading there? Why does that confuse me?
It's basically, it's different. It's just little headlines from different groups.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, people. My bad. And just in our last bit of news, Central African Republic, who could have also qualified, lost 2-1 at home to Angola. So, I don't know if the country's got through or not, but it's warming up. I do not... Who we got? I might be able to support African nations I might be able to support it next year because we ain't got a horse in that race. So that's cool. I like when Salah goes in that. You get me, Salah at a party and then man there. Just get them out of there. But you shouldn't have to worry about that much longer. Anyway, there's some today's fixtures going on in case any of you cares. Burundi and Namibia's going at it at 2:00. Ethiopia and Malawi is going at it at 3:00. And Sudan and Mauritania. They are playing today at 7:00. And yeah, that's it. Let's get into Done Out Ere then. What have we got in Done Out Ere today? Oh, did he make the list? Oh, True says the day after. This guy has been going viral from yesterday. So basically, there is some man. I don't know what this man is from. I don't know if he's Polynesian or what. I'm not sure what he is from. But he was going crazy on the train. Did you see it?
I did. I'm so glad he got beat down.
Got beat up, right?
Jungle justice.
Them man then just is that racist? Don't say it's jungle justice. You're saying jungle justice because it's black people or because it's the
Was it a video where the girl says that she has a white boyfriend?
No, go to number.
Yeah, I think it's the same video. Yeah,
Yeah, that's the
video?
Yeah,
Oh,
Who says she got a white boyfriend?
the girl.
Nigerian girl.
When?
At the
It's
start.
early in the video.
I
Yeah.
did in the video.
Oh, I ain't even heard that bit. Play it though. Let me see it.
it's not the important bit, is it?
Hmm?
Mania.
Hmm?
What?
You've got on one today.
What number is it?
The very last one, I believe.
Last one. Okay.
He seems so angry. He looks like Minder. I thought it was Minder when I first saw him. I was
What does
thinking,
that mean?
what the hell's Minder doing?
I'm telling you what you already know.
Bitch, my boyfriend is white. What are you talking about?
Your boyfriend ain't white. Your boyfriend ain't white, yeah? No white man will go out of you. You're
Why not?
ugly.
Why
You're
not?
too ugly.
I'm a model.
You're too ugly. And you as well. You're too ugly. I will never go near you. You ain't got no hair. And you, listen, if I was to ever take you home with me, yeah?
If I smack you with this thing, because come here, let me hit you.
Smack me. I'll lick you down.
What's the girl,
Shut up.
Get the fuck out of here.
Shut up.
No one gives a
Ugly
fuck.
bitch.
No one gives a fuck.
Get your hair.
No one gives
Get
a
some
fuck.
new hair. Get some
You're
new
a
hair.
sad,
Get
miserable
some new
man,
hair.
and no one
Get some
gives
new
a
hair. Get
fuck.
some
No one
fucking new
cares,
hair.
boo.
Go back to your
Be
fucking
mad.
country.
Be
Go back
mad.
to your-
Be
go back to
mad.
your
Be
ugly-
mad.
Go back to your ugly country.
That's why
Go
you're
back to your
always
ugly country.
sitting
And
in
stop.
a fucking
Stop
train,
on the street.
screaming at
How can
girls
you
and
people
little
stop?
girls.
How can you
holding
people
to your
stop
children.
on the street?
Yes,
How can you people stop on the street? How can you people stop on the street? There's £250,000 of diamonds in the ground.
This is
How can you stop?
£250,000 for diamonds in the
Walk
ground.
away.
I'm not walking away. I'm
Walk
standing
away.
right
You
here.
man
I'm
stop.
standing
Walk
right
away.
here. There's people
Walk
in
away.
Africa
You're
starving.
reckless. I can smell it from here.
No, I can
It's
smell
insane.
you.
It's insane.
Stale
Oh
Bill.
my God.
Stale Bill.
You're
Stale
stinky.
Bill.
Oh.
Gucci bag. Gucci bag.
If you come here, hey, if you come, oh my God, 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 oh my days, oh my days, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my days, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh thank you, oh my gosh, for fuck's sake.
Bro,
Oh my God.
Bro, leave it.
Where did the news come from?
When you call him a black man, he's there. You know. I'm telling you.
Them news popped up out of nowhere.
That's right.
Yeah.
You guys might crucify me for this, but I don't think she should have engaged.
With who?
Yeah.
The girl.
Probably.
I don't know. I was just thinking, if I was in that situation, I wouldn't have even given him. He would have stopped eventually. I wouldn't have even given the intention, and I wouldn't have threatened to hit him. I wouldn't have threatened it, because if I now got hit, I could argue that, okay, that might have been because I provoked him in that way.
Yeah, but there's two of them. One of them's got a brody, man. You can mash them up.
No, I wouldn't. This is just me. As I said, you guys can crucify me, but I wouldn't have engaged, and I definitely wouldn't have said, if I hit you with this, I wouldn't have said that.
Do you know what their initial argument stemmed from? Like, what made her take out the phone and like, what was the problem?
Recording, you could record. Like, I would have that I don't mind, but it's just the.
Have we not heard anything? No backstory or nothing. Why they even cross paths in the first place?
Nah.
Just random.
Yeah. Well, all I know is
Because how many of them were there?
What,
With the girl, yeah.
Looks like about, I've already assumed two, maybe
yeah,
three.
two, like a girl and that.
I don't think if she was by herself, I don't think she would have said that.
Maybe not.
I don't know. Sometimes, you know, sometimes you can get a bit carried away when you're with your friends and stuff like that. But I just feel, I would not have even engaged.
But he did look like an idiot.
Yeah, he did, which is why
So
I wouldn't have
maybe-
even had like.
Yeah, so maybe she weren't even joking. Maybe she was thinking, "Oh, bust
that
your
I can
head
actually
with
bust
this,
your head.
with
And
this
then
brody."
but the thing is, when he now hit her, oh my God. But you said that you were going to hit him with the brolly.
Yeah, he was moving. He was moving irate. I don't understand why. He was,
Especially if he was that angry, I'm not saying I'm gonna hit you because if you now punch me up, what am I gonna do? I can't take you on. I can't. Especially if you're that irate for something, you're obviously mad. Let me just say something. You see people that are mad, I don't engage with them because your level of thinking, you could stab me for nothing. Like she probably didn't even do nothing to him. You see, me and mad people, I don't engage with them, you know. I mean, I'll even move away because I can't even risk it.
Boy, there's mad folks on the train, boy.
There's very mad folks on the train. And when they come to me, I just don't even engage. Not me, boy.
Well, I don't even know what my man done. That was thoroughly entertaining. I got a few laughs out of it. You get me? And then obviously the way they just mash him up on the end because it's so funny, yeah. Like you just see him at the top of the screen, he's just getting hoofed up on the floor, and I'm just thinking, where did all these man them step from? I'm not even sure if they even all know each other. You know what I'm trying to say? That just might have been a concerted effort on a community floor. You get me? They just punched him up. That was too funny, man.
I think the first guy with the white T-shirt, just at the beginning, I saw him way down, like a few carriages down. And I think when he heard the commotion, he started running towards, obviously to save the black girls, innit? And then by the time the guy did what he did, then he came into the frame.
Okay.
Yeah.
So his timing was
100%. 100%.
Yeah, man. Justice was served, man. He's definitely done that here, man. Let's get into our outro.
All right, guys, thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel. And if you're listening on a podcast streaming app, also, rate us, review us, do all that great stuff on there. If you have any dilemmas you would like to send in, you can send them into the number 075 6484 1073. Also, follow us on social media platforms, The Day After TNB. And if you'd like to inquire about the show or feature on the show, the email address is thedayafter@thenewblack.com. See you all tomorrow.
Peace.
See ya.